If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
I have my headphones on and Marnie is talking to me and I'm listening to the intro. I have no idea what she said, but all I know is that she brought a plate of cookies and fudge into the studio. And that's really all that matters, I think. My gosh, we are tardy as hell, but there's things going on. Microsoft had updates and we had things to do, and Al had a phone conference. Lots happening. My gosh. But you know what? The biggest thing so far of the show is Marnie is here before we actually started. So I think that should be commended. What a way to...
ADHD medication. ADHD medication, people.
What a way to almost end the year, Marnie.
That's what I'm saying.
We've got one more show left of this year, and you were on time for the next to the last show of the year.
One year of ADHD medication, and look what fucking...
Yeah. What
a
year?
ringing endorsement for Big Pharma. My God.
Absolutely.
We're fans
At
now.
least the one Big Pharma.
Yeah.
We're fans.
My gosh, things are looking up.
Hi, Bridget.
My gosh, Bridget is there, and she was in the YouTube chat room earlier, and people are all over doing many things. I did learn already, just since I've been here, Kat Carlson has been a plethora of knowledge.
Very
Isn't
informative.
she always?
I've learned just
You
here.
said sarcastically.
What? Which
I
part?
mean, which all
Case
of
in
it.
point.
Oh.
Case in point.
Maybe that's implied too. If I just say your name, because I learned that I no longer have to say.
Equals knowledge.
I can't say. I don't have to say angry lesbian. I don't have
No.
to say angry lesbian anymore. I can just say
The
lesbian.
angry part is
is implied.
redundant. It's already in there.
And I equated it to ATM machine.
Right?
The
Sure.
M is already
Department of
there.
Redundancy
Right.
Department.
The VIN number. No, it's just the VIN. Don't need the number.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Because VIN stands for Vehicle
Identification
Identification
number.
Number.
So
That's it.
again, good to know that I don't have to say angry lesbian
At
any
all.
longer. No.
No,
We're
just
all-
lesbian.
So-
just lesbian covers it.
But should you come across
All
a
of that.
lesbian who may be a little more with levity or
We
a
call
little,
that bisexual.
what?
Oh,
I'm speculating.
I'm just trying to figure out how do you denote someone who's of the less anger?
oh, perhaps we should assign like levels.
Good call.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh,
So
Yeah, but isn't this
Don't
like a
talk to that
stone
one.
butch
She's
or
a
like
level
me,
10.
a pebble butch? Like, like one of
Oh,
those
sure.
kind of things?
I feel maybe it should be colors.
I don't think
That's
the kids
gone
call
so
them
well.
that anymore.
No, but
Pebble?
like
I think
if
that's
you...
different.
A what?
One day I was
Butch,
talking to
not Bush.
Ron Rogers, and,
Yeah.
and he and
Gina?
Keela were talking,
Oh.
years ago.
Oh.
We're talking about Stone Butch, and, I had no fucking idea what they were talking about. And
Stone Butch.
So then they were
Yeah.
describing it, and I said, I was a little drunk. This is weird. And I said,
Stunned.
shocking.
Early
It's right
90s.
years ago, right,
Right.
dating back. And I was like, well, then I guess I'm just a pebble butch because I'm close like that, but not. So I'm not a stone butch. I'm
Okay.
a pebble
Yeah.
butch.
That's
You
a
see a
different.
stone butch walking down the street, you go, oh, she look like a man.
She looking like
She
a
looking
man.
like a man. She kind
Correct.
of manly.
Correct.
Hi, Mom.
You see a pebble butch walking
A
down the street, you
A
think, oh, those are
persnickety pansexual.
those are nice cargo shorts you have there,
Correct.
sir or ma'am.
Sir
Yeah.
or ma'am.
However you identify.
Still holding back the waters in Holland?
You don't know my life.
Yeah. Nope. Just down in Nolans.
Put your finger in the dike has an entirely different meaning for that.
connotation.
Right,
That's
God.
right, that's
Hold
right.
back the flooding.
Oh, holy bucket.
Okay, smokes. Marnie, what is the beautiful reason for cookies and fudge to be brought into the studio?
Well, so I feel guilty about the fact now that it's not actually fudge; it's just a brownie.
Okay,
A fudge brownie,
don't
as
care.
it were.
Yeah.
But
Get
just
out.
Get
Is it-
out!
yeah.
is it-
Leave
We
already.
cannot
Is
have
it chocolate
this
and edible?
deception.
I wouldn't have been early. I mean, ish. If I had,
Well, still not.
beca-
Right. As we started at 17 minutes
listen,
after.
knowledge.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I'm changing
Beca-
my name.
yeah,
If we're all just telling the truth, I'm leaving.
Aaron and I had
Wait.
made Christmas cookies, and
Okay.
we made I had a whole beautiful plate of and they were quite delicious.
Okay.
And I ate them all. No, the Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
and
Like
I
the
had
sugar
them to
cookies
bring,
with the frosting
right,
decorated
and,
on.
And we made Twix this year,
Okay.
like new kind of whatever. We had all kinds of fancy
Both
shit.
left and right Twix.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I only like
and,
the left ones.
I know, me
I'm a
too.
Twix
Yeah.
racist.
Yep,
I'm sorry.
I'm with you.
Left only.
Twix
I'm a
bigot. Look
Twixist.
at you.
Yep.
I'm a Twixist.
Yep.
And so anyway, but they're at home on the counter. And so
If
then
it's the coffee
I
or the
had my
codeine
own
talking to me
guilt
over here.
on my way here that you guys didn't even know I had the cookies, but I had to
You
stop.
felt guilty for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
What if
'cause I
they
was-
know?
How do I not bring cookies to like a almost Christmas show?
Well, so what are
fucking
the
ridiculous?
Come here. What are the two
Honest
cookie
to God.
choices?
So chocolate chip.
Yeah,
Just
and
a basic chocolate chip.
You're
They
basic.
didn't have
I
a
get
ton
it.
of things
Sorry.
to choose from. So
and
and that is a white chocolate almond.
may I have a white chocolate almond
Yeah,
to start my
absolutely.
night with?
Please
Thank
do.
you very much,
Please
Al
do.
Perkins. Would you or break it in half, whatever you want to
Have
do?
the whole thing.
You can have
I
that
think
whole
Would
you
you
need to have
would you
the
like
whole
to
cookie.
a piece
No,
of
'cause I think
this?
we can split this
We
other
can
one
split
like
this
eight
other one
ways.
and it'll be fine.
They are
You can feed a small
for
village with
those
that
of you.
other
Okay,
And-
that is actual science. I'm holding the camera. I mean, oh look, it covers my face. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, covers my face.
Cookie monster.
Cookie. Oh, not Cookie Monster, but
Wow.
that was sad news to
That
hear
was
this.
sad.
Carol Spinney. I mean, we're just jumping right ahead to all kinds of stuff. but
Dive in. Dive right
Carol, gentleman named
We'll do
Carol.
it live.
Complete sense with my ADHD.
Carol
I'm like,
Spinney,
yes.
85-year-old. He was the gentleman who was a puppeteer without a purpose until he met Jim Henson. Jim Henson then started.
Wandering around aimlessly with
I like
puppets.
that.
Well, yes.
I like
Well,
that.
that was his own.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
my worst nightmare.
He met,
Anybody need a puppet? Anybody need a puppet?
puppet here for
he met
Hey, puppet. No.
Jim Henson
Went to Old Fat Albert
in
Place.
69, and Jim said, "Hey, I'm starting this show called Sesame Street. Would you like to be part of it?" Thereby creating Big Bird, a 6-year-old bird that never aged. So Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. And I thought he did count, but I may be incorrect.
Well, I think
on
it
that.
was just the two.
At one,
Yeah, Big Bird and
but
the other.
yeah,
He may have
Oscar
filled in time or two.
one completely optimistic
Yeah.
yellow-feathered
Right,
bird and one
right.
completely pessimistic grouch who lived
Right.
in a trash can.
Right.
But Carol Spinney passed away. Is it 2 days ago on Sunday? Yeah.
Dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunate. And I
And it
still
was
have
the
never
same
seen.
day as I heard you guys saying it when you came in, but I thought the irony, like with the Kennedy Center
Right,
honors and
that
all that, I thought
Sesame
that was
Street is
cute.
being honored this year, along
Yeah.
with the lovely Linda Ronstadt. Did you watch that interview that I sent you by chance?
Yes.
Wonderful, and it's
Hi, Aaron.
it's really interesting to watch. I've never seen her in an interview before that I recall, even like
aren't many.
from years ago. She's I would say rather dry in an interview. A couple times she joked and had some levity within it, but I was like, wow, she's really pretty dry for being
Really
the
didn't think that was a
personality
bell
that she
time.
was on
Right,
stage.
and exceedingly humble. Like
Oh
just,
yeah,
just the deference to everything.
very much
And
so.
who was her big look at? I could just because I'm an idiot, just go with it. Was it? I'll say it wrong if the big relationship that she had.
Well, she had several.
Well,
No,
she's
but
the
the
big one was Jerry Brown.
Jerry Brown in
That's right.
California,
Thank
That's
you.
why he didn't run for president.
Thank you. In my like,
And
honest to
George
God, I
Lucas.
was.
and
George-
most
Oh,
of the,
I don't know that I
and
knew that.
most of the
And I
Eagles.
can't remember which one. I can't remember. If it
I was thinking
Glenn
in my
Henley or-
head Chris Christopherson, and I knew that was going to be wrong, and so that's why. But
She
Jerry
may have,
Brown.
but it's, yeah, because I call her the one with the trick pussy.
That's what he always called her. He's always called her that.
Because
But I thought the long term was Chris Christopherson, and I was wrong. It was Jerry Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that ended, and at some point she was with. Although she says she really wasn't. That was well, Jackson Brown. That girl can sing is about her.
Okay.
So she was
Sure.
with Jackson Brown at some point,
Okay, for like a
And
minute,
long enough for him to
a
write
minute
a
and
song.
a half.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
It's like all the songs written about Roseanne Arquette. What the fuck's going on there?
Well, she's a whore.
Roseanne.
Exactly. And In Your Eyes, the most beautiful song, pretty much.
It's about her?
It's about Roseanne Arquette. Another one, Trick Pussy. What the hell's going on? I can't
Well,
get one
would
song
you
written
take
about
a
me.
fucking look at that? I didn't know.
Well,
Yeah.
would you like me to show in the diagram why?
Yeah, probably. It's got one trick.
How about that?
Yeah. So she's on.
you have
I forget the whole list. It's Sesame Street, Linda Ronstadt.
Sally Field.
Oh, Sally Field. That's the other one. Big
I
love,
didn't
love.
realize that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
very cool. I'm curious. And for those of
I
you,
just saw the
you're gonna if you're just listening live now, it is not after Christmas this year. They're broadcasting that sumbitch on this upcoming Sunday.
This is important information because I
It
would've-
is. Set your
Breaking
DVRs.
Haven't we rushed the holidays enough
No.
this year?
You know,
However-
that's
The
war on
That
Christmas.
still is one of the
Yes.
coolest and most exciting things, the surprises. But when Aaron had set
yeah.
that thing up for me to meet Sally Field, I still just, as dumb as that is,
At a
and
book
it was
signing,
like this,
yeah?
What a
at a
No.
book signing. And,
I would have
and
loved
just,
to.
You know, like she just took the time and was so warm and just so. And,
And-
you sit there and you think about like, oh my God, who is sitting in front of me?
So
all
many
the different characters,
Right.
And
All the characters. All the
I
things.
made Gidget laugh. Like when you
No,
look
you
at
actually
it
said
and-
that when you right
Yeah,
after you met her. You
it
said
was just like so. I don't know.
But you think of all the people connected to, I mean, all the things she's done. Like you got Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise. You have Shelley Morrison
Sure.
from The Flying Nun.
Yep.
So
That's
who
right.
just passed this past week as well.
That's right. I
So-
did. I heard that.
Wait, who else?
Shelley Morrison,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Rosario.
Yeah.
She was connected to her
That's
too.
right.
But no, oh my God,
Tom
Sally
Hanks.
Field.
And, I
one-
mean, like
yeah.
when you think about all the and
Robin
Dolly
Williams.
Parton and
Hello,
Hello,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
right?
Yeah, so wonderful.
anything to do with Steel Magnolias and all the different people, just all of that.
I would have never made Mrs. Doubtfire if I was her.
No, but there's
She
something
comes
so
off
endearing about it.
I know, except for how
know?
they treat her through the whole movie.
Right? No, but
Like, she is just a working mother trying to keep people from riding motorcycles through her living room.
But boy, they
Settle
wrote
the
her off
fuck
as a
down.
stone cold bitch, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they
Oh
sure did.
yeah,
They
that does not hold up well. Like, it's funny with him, but every time it gets to her, he's like, "You're a dick." Like, no, yeah, you're.
But the
fun.
fact that Sally Field can play that part,
Yeah.
right, and so convincingly, I
and you
love
never
her.
believe it. You're like, "Oh, she's a wonderful mother." He's a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you've now ruined that movie for me because I'll never see it the same. I never
That's
took it
funny.
that way.
Honestly, I've always been kind of on her side.
Yeah. It was really about viewing number 2 that you were like,
You're like, wait a minute, she's got a fucking point.
Yeah.
He's a lot.
This motherfucker doesn't
He's
have a
a
job.
lot.
He's
Yeah,
constantly
right.
trashing her goddamn
Look at how
house,
cute he is that he can do
undermining
all
any
this,
kind of
yeah.
discipline she's trying to do to these kids. This motherfucker.
He's raising terrorists.
Right.
Nobody's gonna want to be. Those children are gonna be living at home till they're 40.
And then on vacation, he was a cock blocker.
Right.
You know, against Pierce
Then he
Brosnan. So
throws fruit at people.
Funny.
it's a drive-by fruiting.
I still find that funny. But in between the movie is just hysterical. Like the parts
Yeah,
in
yeah.
between,
That's
the whole
funny.
thing where Harvey what the fuck
Harvey
is that?
Firestein?
Harvey Firestein. I was
I don't remember him being in it.
I know. I went right to
the best.
Fantasy Island. But
Welcome.
I couldn't get his
Welcome,
name
Danny.
out right either.
Hervé Villechaize.
I could swear he was real dead by that point, but
Super too small for that barber chair. But every time they turn her around, it just gets funnier and funnier.
Oh, you look like Mom.
Yeah. Do you want Shelley
old, I look
Winters or
like Bobby.
Shirley MacLaine? What's the difference? Just a little red
Scotch,
wig and
red hair dye and scotch tape.
She's just pulled more this way. Just that's such a good joke.
That's such a
good
great
joke.
scene.
that's good.
It's a really fun scene.
Right here, it's scotch tape.
Aaron from LA, of course. So many Star Trek people in the past week have passed away as well.
Oh,
I didn't know
Renee,
that.
and I never could pronounce his name.
I was
Renee,
going to Aubergine. I don't know what it was, but I didn't know him
You're
from...
making all the right noises.
It has an A in it. But I remember him.
Lesbian.
I was never a Star Trek follower, but obviously from Benson, he played that role so well of being the assistant to the governor, the dumb governor in Benson.
Yes.
and one of
again-
my favorite Broadway.
Renee
Aubergine or something.
I've never. I feel terrible. I've never, and I've been a fan of his since Benson. And then
Wow.
he was.
Okay.
Aaron,
so
Aaron,
I
type
did
it
not
out
know
phonetically
Star
for
Trek,
us, Aaron.
that
He was
in
on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Next Generation, one of those two.
Okay.
One of those two
Okay.
ones.
I'm
He
like,
was on
I
there.
can't picture that.
Trek Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, this time
This
it's
time it's
personal.
personal.
This time it's in space.
Star Trek with a vengeance.
This time that button does something.
The minute that you put in Renee and then it's Star Trek is the first thing that comes up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But he was in City of Angels, the musical, playing the just absolute scoundrel Hollywood producer that turns out may have been based on a thinner, more French Harvey Weinstein.
Here's why I didn't know him from any Star Trek stuff. I mean, A, because I didn't really watch it, but B, because of this. It's like
Yeah.
the
It's like a bad filter. Like
Right.
a Star
But it's
Snapchat.
the Silence of the Lambs mask,
Silence
too.
of the Lambs
Yeah.
mask. That's
Wow,
what
we
I'm
are-
seeing.
we
Yeah,
are really
like,
having
I
psychic
didn't-
connections,
I
thank God,
didn't
'cause-
realize that.
I may stop making sense.
I think so. If you're making some
Well, you'd have to
sense.
But
start.
City of Angels, yeah.
You got to before I did.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
How can you be a has-been if you've never been really famous?
Oh, hold on.
Can't bring sexy back if you
Philip
weren't sexy. to
McKeon.
begin
Yeah, if you
with.
weren't sexy
Wait
the
a minute,
first time.
Philip McKeon
Philip
died?
McKeon just
died today.
Like in the last hour.
Hour, 55 years old.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
Alice doesn't live here anymore either.
No.
Alice is still alive.
No,
Wow.
Linda Lavin's alive, yeah.
Oh yeah, both Alice's.
Polly Holiday is dead.
Did they say it? What? My God. Everyone's just trying to get out while Trump's in office.
This impeachment is
Yeah.
really putting everybody
Taking
through
me
it.
to all
And
of
somebody
Can
I
we-
don't think, right? The only person from the movie. There's nobody from the movie.
It says after a long illness, so
Yeah, I don't think.
I think it was called unemployment.
Yeah.
could be. Boredom.
I don't think there's anybody from the movie of. Oh, what's her face comes in? Diane Ladd came in and took over for
Oh, that's-
Flo and Fro left.
when
And
Flo
she's
left.
from the movie.
Right. Oh,
like-
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I can never remember if it's.
Beth Howland is still one of my favorites.
Yes,
And
and
I
she's
think
another one.
she passed away
Musical
too, didn't
genius.
she?
She's
Yeah.
and I'm not getting married today from Company. Like she sang that in the original cast. That absolute nonsense.
Such a fun
But
number.
she
I
is so
love
good.
that number.
So anyway, so Renee could also sing and dance because he was charming, playing the smarmy.
Oh, Funny.
movie producer.
Yeah.
There won't be a dry seat in the house. In
How
the
cool
City of
for
Angels.
Aaron. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's loud because he always seemed very pleasant and one of those people, working actor for centuries, which I always like to sit, make fun of Suzanne Summers, but still a working actress.
Yeah,
She's got a
absolutely.
job and I don't.
Yeah, but
oh
she's
no, I
got
do have a job.
She's got a new face like several times over though. I don't think she even looks like Susan Summers anymore.
Actually, I haven't seen her in a while, so maybe she is finally out of
Well,
work.
you may have seen her, but you just don't know.
Yeah,
Was that? I see.
but she
Maybe not.
She seriously had 30 years of solid employment that you could not argue
you're
with.
right.
Her face rings
Bitch
a
had a
bell.
job.
You're right. You
That's
just
true.
didn't know. Well, well, that's sad.
Yeah, so
Okay, that's even worse. That doesn't help.
Huh.
wow, no.
Yeah, no. Those are here. Can I buy a vowel? Can I?
Auberginois.
Oh, got
Auberginois.
it. So Aaron from
What's
LA
that?
doesn't get it
Yes,
either.
that
So,
too.
but Renee
But
was.
I like how confident her first try was.
It really was
And then
confident.
she just drove
And
right the
then I
bus
just
right
was
over the
like, yeah,
cliff.
fuck it.
You know what? I'm taking the
No.
kids with me on this one.
Yeah, I really did. I was like, I'm gonna just go for this. I did, and it didn't work out very well.
You're pretty close though.
Nobody on this cast is going to
And
critique you at all.
I have a feeling because I did a Clayton trip that time where I stayed like a day for that trip to New York to see City of Angels, and I don't think we even tried, but I remember practicing in case I got to meet him, like if I
funny.
could say his last
Sure.
name.
Sure.
And I was like,
Well.
but I don't remember.
Yeah, but then the minute
I don't
that you
remember
meet them,
standing
it
back
doesn't
there,
come
yeah.
up.
I feel like you
won't
wouldn't
come
be the
out
first
correct.
person who was like, Renee. And just, that was it. No
Renee
last
with an
name.
A.
Well, I always think
Hey.
I'm going to say something that's going to like get me a longer conversation.
Right.
But then most of the time, 5 minutes after I'm by the stage door, I'm like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah,
And,
I gotta go.
Is there coffee somewhere? I gotta go. I'll be back. Keep talking.
I thought you was, well, Kat, what'd you do this last
Talk
month or
amongst
how long?
yourself.
I feel like it's been a year since we
It's
did this
been a
shit.
year since we did the show, so I had some Thanksgiving like everyone else did.
Still eating turkey?
No.
No. Did you
Sadly,
freeze any
no.
of it to like take out?
We
and
did
have
freeze
later?
some. Yeah,
Sure.
we froze some. I
Make some
no,
turkey soup.
I traveled to Sacramento to carry on the time-honored tradition of being a slave in my mother's kitchen.
Ah,
Love it.
well.
Nice.
That she's done
Quite
for many
the
years
honor,
for
quite
her
the
mother.
honor, yeah.
Like
Right,
it's
that's
now
right.
it's
Tradition.
it's certainly my turn.
Yep.
So yeah, went up for a couple of days and cooked and cooked and cooked, and then unfortunately got some kind of a stomach bug, so could barely eat my own Thanksgiving dinner. I was so very upset.
That's frustrating.
I know, so very upset.
Yep.
But otherwise, a lovely trip.
Yep.
You know, small party this year. There was only 7 for Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
The day before Thanksgiving, a like distant cousin came by for a visit, like invited herself over, and was like, "Oh, good. You know, George and my grandparents are going to be in town. I want to see them, and so we're coming over." So they drove up from San
Welcome.
Francisco. Delightful people,
Yeah.
awfully nuts.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, just
Gotta
That's a
enjoy
nice
that.
combo, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
Delightful and a little bit
lovely
bananas.
people,
Yeah.
a little bit bananas.
I
Like
like it.
at dinner that night, she goes on this tirade because I guess there's a lot of like drama in her nuclear family. So she is my grandfather's niece,
Okay.
right? So my mom's first cousin. And there's been over the years, some family drama over inheritances and bullshit and bullshit and bullshit. So apparently there's a lot of drama in her nuclear family that she just was looking for allies, I think, because
Oh,
she
wow.
just
Got
laid some shit out that we're all like, okay,
Yeah.
didn't need to know any of that.
Yeah,
right?
but here we
But
are.
here it
Thanks for
But
sharing.
here we are. Thanks for
Right.
coming. Nice to see you.
That's fantastic.
I know. It was super fun. And it turned out was a relative that I had never met.
Oh,
Like
that's
in my
fun.
whole life. Right, which
Okay.
was very fun because at first she was trying to like make a memory, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I
Sure.
remember you from, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Montana since I was 15.
yeah.
And when we did go, like my we would go to see my great grandparents, and any times that I remember, there were no big family gatherings. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were past that, and it was overwhelming for my grandparents to have that many people. So it was only ever us that I remember.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So she was like making stuff up, and then my sister arrived.
We go way back.
Right. So then my sister shows up, and they go, "Oh, nope, it's true. It's her I've met,
Okay.
not you."
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't trying to lie.
Just trying to make a connection that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I
Right,
kept
right.
going, "Nope, it wasn't me."
Couldn't
Well,
have been.
sometimes you
Promise,
think,
wasn't
well,
me.
maybe the other family was, you know what I mean? There was 7,000 of you there. Maybe we met each other. Yeah.
Right.
Sure. That's true.
But one of those cool experiences is because I like the minute she walked in the door, she looked like my great grandmother to me. I was like, wait a minute, she looks like grandma,
Yeah,
which was very cool.
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, but did that and then got a year older, and that happened.
That's right.
I know,
Happy birthday.
I know. For the first
Oh, your
time.
fucking birthday. When is
Yeah,
it?
last Friday.
Last Friday.
Yeah.
Yearly.
So
This is another one of those fuckers that takes it off Facebook, and I got to put it in my own
did
goddamn
take it-
calendar.
and
Is it the 30th? No, the
no,
29th.
the
No,
6th
the 6th. Last
of
Friday.
December.
Oh, okay.
Just last Friday.
But for the first time ever, and I've been trying this for years,
Yeah.
escaped notice.
Nice.
No one sold me. No one ratted me
Nice.
out.
Nice.
But one customer
Yeah.
knew and like came and brought me a card and was very nice.
Right. Nice.
Otherwise, completely escaped notice. I was like, that's the way to do it.
it's under the
I
radar.
don't need all this shit.
Oh, listen, bitch. It's blowing up next year.
Yeah,
Because
right?
now I'm pissed off.
You guys got to work that out. Put a note in your phone.
I did.
No, you know.
Well, no, because I've learned about these motherfuckers that take it off Facebook, and then you feel like a dick because you didn't remember their birthday.
I don't tell anyone, so
So I
at
put
least
it in
don't feel
my
like a
phone
dick.
now with repeat
Well,
every
and
year.
I was sitting there thinking, well, we're going to have something, because usually I'll come in and bring stuff.
I made
for
you a
it.
Yeah, you
cookie.
do that a
Happy
lot.
birthday.
Thank
I
you.
made you a
Yeah.
cookie.
Listen, I don't do a lot for other people for their birthdays. I prefer mine to be like very quietly celebrated. I want somebody to cook me a home cooked meal.
Right.
I want the kids to make me a cake and sing me a happy birthday, half-heartedly
Oh,
even.
I don't like
I don't
a-
give a shit about that. And then the end, like I'm
Right.
cool. I'm
Right.
good. Birthday happened.
did those
I feel
happen?
Good. They did.
Good.
Yeah.
Well done.
I want a drink.
Yeah.
Just one, but a drink.
Sure.
Right. From each person.
No.
Oh, I see.
can't drink
I
like
just
that
wanted
anymore.
to make sure. Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'm good.
It's not
And I
1978.
love, but I love funny cards.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't like dirty cards. I don't like pornography cards. Funny, like work hard.
Pay
Work
attention. Pay
hard.
I feel like
attention.
I'm long
Yep.
past the age of needing a lot of fanfare. Like it's my birthday. I know it's my
Oh,
birthday. If
I just
people
want funny
remember, that's
cards.
great.
Yeah.
If people don't remember, that's great too. It's not a banner day in anyone else's life but mine. And my mom calls me. Like, you know. Of
course.
I think she would remember, but
Usually.
You-
but not all the
sometimes
time.
time.
sometimes not always. Sometimes
No,
I get a call a day
sometimes.
later that goes, "Shit."
Damn it.
Forgot.
And sometimes you just don't know what day it is.
That's right.
Period.
Right.
That's fair. That is fair.
I'll do a neuro check on a patient, and I'm like, it's stage day, and I'm like, we could say anything right now because I got nothing.
Cuz I got no idea.
I'm not even 100%
I have
sure of the year.
Zero
And I'm in
idea.
denial about the president. So
Yeah.
the next three questions could go any way you want them to. And
Just
I'm
say
gonna think, yeah,
anything.
you're on it.
That's fantastic. I love it.
What was that awful noise?
I didn't hear it.
You guys didn't hear that?
Nope. Did you have a stroke?
Was it like a little squeak, something?
Yeah.
Well, probably a chair or something. I don't know. I didn't hear
Oh,
anything.
it kind
Do you
of
have a
sounded like
stroke?
somebody just released their water from like.
Wow.
Okay.
The only thing I heard was maybe
To the
a
best
squeak
of my
a
knowledge,
chair.
no one was pregnant.
Yeah.
So
I just put
Yeah.
I just put my feet back. Maybe I had it. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It just sounded like somebody dumped a goldfish into a, the bowl from the bag.
Oh.
Marina,
I don't
you've
know.
had a busy couple weeks
I have had
with
a
an
busy couple
advertised
weeks.
birthday.
Yes, I had a turned 50 birthday, and
Welcome to
I
the
had-
club,
well,
Marn.
thank you. And I had
welcome
a
aboard.
lovely, lovely time.
It was a
Had
charming. It was a very charming night. I have to
it
say,
was.
tits
It
to
was.
tail, I enjoyed myself.
It looked like quite the meeting of minds too. I saw a picture or two, and all the people that were tagged. I was like, well, look at that gathering
Yeah.
right
I
there.
know. I
Yeah.
got to spend a
What
little
a
time with the buddy
delightful
Early
fun.
and the
Yeah,
Daniel.
and Daniel
twice
Ray.
in the same week.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. Went to Candytopia because I had, as any good 50-year-old who wants to feel like they're 10, wanted a Willy Wonka birthday, and so.
And I mean, this
And-
comes
and it
pretty
really-
fucking close.
it
I mean,
did.
except for murdering children, I think we
Aside
knocked a
from
couple
that.
things off the
That's right.
list.
And I absolutely love the fact that Aaron's like, well, we did that, and we didn't have to clean anything up.
Oh,
We didn't
yeah,
have to
because that
set
would
anything up or clean anything up.
Because that's a breakup.
Except for the confetti when we got home.
The cleanup from that party would
Took
seriously
off
end any
took off
relationship.
the bra, and like all of this confetti just went all over the place.
Oh,
from
wow.
I'm not kidding. When I
That's not how
watched,
that's supposed to work.
And it blows
it
out
is
of a
there.
pig's ass.
it blows
Lord.
out of a pig's ass. It does.
And the
That's
worst part
true.
was, is people got it in their mouths. They recycle it.
Yeah.
In an effort to be a little more eco-friendly,
Yeah.
they sweep up the confetti off the floor,
Uh-huh.
put it back in the pig, and shoot it back out the pig's ass.
Close your
Not
mouth.
one of them.
Close your
There's
mouth.
not one part of the story that's a lie in there. And then because Buddy and I and Daniel decided we were going to be, the gays that were going to get away with not going through the confetti.
Yeah.
We were going to be the ones that didn't get hit with confetti.
Yeah.
Those
How'd that go
fuckers
for
had a
you?
plan.
Yeah.
Well, I decided, you know what? Suck it up.
Just
There's
go with
really,
it.
I watched the carnage from the other room. I watched it play out with other people that thought they were going to be princesses too. And I watched the cruelty that went on to those people.
Yeah.
So I just took my medicine. I went through. I got one blast, but I managed to get ahead of it because I figured out which way the pig was standing.
Yeah.
And which way his ass was facing.
Like you do.
And then
if you just step into the middle of this story, you got no idea what's going on.
you're up
here.
a pig's ass. That's all you know.
Confetti out of a pig's ass. That's what I'm calling it.
So
That's
the
funny.
funny thing was Daniel came in next, and they were merciless.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because they saw him trying to
Avoid.
avoid.
Yeah.
Well, then Buddy came in and he went to what he thought was the exit because it was an exit sign, but it was emergency exit. The exit to the other room was clear on the other side.
Oh,
He
no.
had navigated so
Yeah.
poorly right into the quicksand. And they were merciless. And by that point, I'm cheering them on because
Yeah.
I not
Right,
only
you've-
I
pointed.
got nailed by this. You're gonna get
Oh,
nailed.
not
Yeah.
only did I point out where he was hiding, but I may have held him down for the confetti.
We came around the corner because I didn't realize that was coming next. I was paying no attention. I was just in such truly like a little Willy Wonka land,
Oh, yeah.
excited.
I swear confetti just went in my mouth.
Yeah, we went around the corner and they apparently were waiting there for me because they're like, "Are you the birthday girl?" I heard them continue to say that when they came through, but they had a couple of buckets.
Yeah. And
And
they,
so
I mean,
I came through
it
the
was
door
like
and I
Rip,
went-
Rip Taylor Bukkake. I mean,
It
it was
really
just
was.
I
wrong.
would have been
And I'm-
concerned at a place like this. It's like around the corner fudge is made. So I would
Yeah.
have been very concerned about where you were
And
going.
the fact that I was like, I came walking through the door and someone said, "Happy birthday," and I said, "Thank."
No, boom.
Oh, all in her mouth.
And
Oh,
I'm like-
no.
What? Like that was a lot.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was from the floor. That was great.
Yeah, because I kept pointing that out to people.
Yes, that was
I
exciting.
decided that was the way to make
But it really
everyone's
was.
time
It
better
was-
was to tell them that all that stuff on you,
Yeah.
it was on the floor.
It really
good.
was. It was entertaining
You're-
and it
you're
was
a
very
good-
fun.
Good man.
Thanks.
Good friend.
Yeah.
But the
they
art
were-
was cute.
It
The
was
sculptures were
really
cute.
it was clever.
Very, very, very
Yeah.
clever. There was a under the sea room
Yep.
done with like thousands and thousands of candies, and they had sharks and hammerhead sharks
Yep.
and starfishes and,
And they had
seahorses.
these big like the marshmallow slide.
Yeah.
And that was just loud.
And they had the art gallery
yeah.
with a picture of Prince done in
right.
candies, the Andy Warhol tomato soup can,
Willy Wonka or
Willie, Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder, right.
And then they had like the girl with the pearl earrings. They had Starry, Starry Night. They had the Mona Lisa. And the
Cute.
girl with the pearl earring in candy when photographed actually worked.
No.
Like when you took the picture, you're like, that looks kind of real.
Right?
Yeah. But like 6-foot alligator or like
Yeah.
some kind of beast of the wild. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck it was. I don't know animals.
It was just very, very clever.
I don't know their life.
It was very clever. So we did that, and then we went out for dinner. And my best friend flew in from Minnesota and surprised me. I thought we were getting into an Uber, and I look and I didn't realize that her fiance Dave was the one driving, and I didn't. I went to get in the car and I said to say hello to the driver, and I'm like, there are legs in the back seat. So for my birthday, we're riding with other people.
Yeah, we're doing a ride share?
Yeah, we have ride share.
We got a hooker.
We couldn't afford the other. Good Lord, what's happening? Anyway, I peek in and it's Seidel, and so that was incredibly exciting.
So I have to nominate this for any
yeah.
kind of a surprise. Isn't that a great idea?
That is.
That's how you surprise them, is they're your Uber driver? Because
pretending
now we
you're
all
Uber
use
driver?
that. Like, oh my God, I thought that was so clever.
Yeah, I had just no idea. And then getting to Candytopia, I had no idea we were doing that. And then when the doors opened, they had saved it so that everyone else was in the line waiting to go in first. And the group of my people were so kind to be there, were waiting inside. And they opened the doors and they're like, "You first, and these people will go next." And I'm like, "Thank you, sorry, what's happening?"
That's so nice.
Yeah, it was.
It really was. It was a lot of fun. So did that Thanksgiving, did our typical Friendsgiving on Friday. Had a lovely time. Yeah, absolutely lovely time. Had about 15 people there.
Very nice.
Maybe a couple more. Kevin and
I know,
Greg came.
and I could not work that out with my
Yeah,
schedule.
so that was lovely to see them. Anyway, yeah, just been busy, kind of doing the things. Last Saturday was exciting, unexpected visit with my brother Frankie, who came in from New Jersey.
Did you say relax?
Don't do it. And it was. There were a couple of interesting things about it. The only other thing, first of all, when you sit there and you don't know anything about a certain side of your family, as we have known that, he made some comment about Adderall. And I kind of turned and looked, and so he was diagnosed about 10 years ago with ADHD.
Oh, wow.
And he said, damn it, you too? He goes, shit, I really wanted to blame my mother for that one, but I guess we're going to have to blame Frank, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we will. So
Oh, man.
that fucking prick. But so that was really cool. And
Wish you could have given you that information about 8-9 years ago.
well, or more.
But did anybody think?
40 or 50
But I
years
don't
ago.
know that anybody would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the idea of had I known that about Frankie, maybe that would have connected. But being so far away, I don't know. And the only other thing I've done that I have to kind of start to figure out is Ancestry.com. I did the whole send off, and I got this whole slew of people things back. Doesn't mean shit to me. Like
Yeah.
I keep looking through it, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I have a couple of Italian names that are in there that made me very happy.
Yeah, but
just to
she's
be
doing it with people
related.
she doesn't know.
Right.
No, I understand that,
Yeah.
but still, it's just an adventure in and of itself.
Well,
and maybe I look at it obviously differently because I realize that the backgrounds that you two share are vastly different.
Right.
But it's still when I'm finding out things about people.
But
that
it
I
starts
read-
off as gibberish. That's the part she
Right.
has to get over.
Yeah.
The first part
It
is
is
you
all
don't
gibberish
know
to
any
me.
of these people.
Right, learning the language
It's
and
just
learning
gibberish,
who these people
yeah.
are.
Yeah, and like a third and a fourth cousin, I'm like, do I even fucking care?
And I
No,
feel like
and
the
I
whole-
have that too,
I
and I
feel
don't
like the
care.
whole fucking world's a fourth cousin
Right,
now.
I know, absolutely. So that's where I'm trying to figure out, and there was the only thing that was an aha moment for me was when I went, oh yeah, that says DeVivo 3 different times, so that's Frank's last name, and I went, well, I doubt that that's a fluke anymore, so it's proven.
Yeah.
It's set in stone. If I didn't know before, I do now. So anyway,
Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve at first. And I still don't like to dive into that part of it because I'm just looking at like code names and I
Right.
don't know who the fuck you are.
there's one person who's on there that I don't mean this to be rude. I don't know that I would reach out to, but it's interesting how you have the whole first close relation or whatever,
Right.
distant or something, and then you have second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin. Well, there's a person who's, I don't know what this means, like a strong second cousin, who had a blurb on there about looking for his biological family, and I'm like,
Now remember, they don't
should
know.
I be reaching? Because he gave facts about like,
Yeah.
this would have been my mom, this would have been whatever, and not
They
knowing.
can't tell the difference between like first cousin and aunt. Like you're falling into that same
Yep.
generation. So
Same.
there's a lot of like, this is like your first or second
They
cousin.
can't
meaning
tell
like
my uncle
we
is
don't
my uncle.
share
They have
enough.
something else.
You're like
Yeah.
most of the DNA, but you're still
Right.
a half from each.
Right.
So this person, and so they give you like a little bit of a range.
Yep.
Because the one person that they have as a first cousin is really my aunt.
Right. And
And then
one
everybody
person
kind
they
of
have-
goes down the line from there. And then her son comes up as like, this is probably your first cousin, first or second cousin, or it could not turn out to be a nephew because of like
Okay.
they're just there's a little bit of a window there till you
Feels
get
like
to like
there's math involved
yeah,
with it.
and then
Right,
there's
right,
like
right.
this is definitely your mother, or this one is definitely your full brother. Like you are definitely related. You share the
Right,
same
there's
DNA.
enough
Because this
DNA
would
here.
be, this is my uncle, and I know that for a fact, just because that's what he does. But it just says close family.
Right, and that's because they can't figure out where on the wheel. They know you both have like half of a half,
Right.
so we got you down.
It'd be a quarter.
But then the more people,
be.
right? Well, I
Yeah.
meant like a half
Half.
from. I meant like a half from here
Yeah,
and a
yeah, I
half
got
from
it.
there.
Ratios.
The way that makes that better is as more people put in, then they can get the.
Then they can narrow it down
Then
a
they
little
can
better.
narrow it down and make the arrows go the right
Right.
way and be like, okay, these two are brothers, so
Okay.
you're clearly not a sibling. We've got all the siblings'
Right.
DNA. You're obviously just sharing half, so we're going to
it.
bump you down to what could possibly be first cousin or nephew.
Okay.
So the more people that play, the more information you get, and that's why the more that you put in, like your where your dot is, and this is the part where you come back in. The more people that put in, the closer they can get your ancestry back to its like ancestral home,
Okay.
down to like mine's down to like a county in Ireland because
Oh wow.
I mean not a county, a town, and I'm like
Yeah.
from Donegal or something like that. Like,
Okay.
but it gets it down because so many people from that area have put in their DNA that they're
Okay.
like, well, clearly you're fourth and fifth cousins with everybody from this one little
Sure.
hamlet. You must.
Sure.
We're
sure.
gonna say somebody in the beginning started off here.
Right.
So the more people that play, the closer they make everything.
Well, and I thought that everybody had to have. I really did believe that whole thing, like that every single person has someone from Africa, but not on my map.
Not
And
on
I
mine
was
either.
very-
No, I
was
told you
kind of-
I'm the Aryan dream. Like
No,
nobody
I
even
know
had an
you
affair.
are.
I
I
couldn't even
know.
find somebody to fuck around with
I
somebody
was like,
interesting.
I was like, this is very disappointing. But
And my amount of French gets lower every time they get more thing. I get less and less French with
no,
every greeting.
That was what. So that's what I had gotten back as far as.
Yeah, but at least you
What-
got Germanic Europe.
Yeah. It
I'm like 96% one little tiny
one
corner
little
of
tiny
Ireland.
corner,
yeah.
right? That's why I thought. Well, this is too vague.
And like mostly potato.
Explains a lot, really.
It
really
does.
does.
It
Really?
does.
That
But-
checks some
and
boxes on the
now
questions
that-
that I've had about
Yeah.
it.
now that I have 1% from Basque, that's where I want to travel to.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Because then I started looking that
Right.
up. That 1% intrigued the shit out of me. So then I looked. It's really quite lovely.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it really. I was very pleased. It's by Spain and 3 in France, provinces in Spain, and 1.
See, you get to
In
go
Spain
exciting
and 3 in France.
places.
No.
My chances of going to France get less and less as that number dwindles. And I end up eating out of a peat stove in a bog somewhere in Ireland.
Mashed potatoes, fried potatoes,
And nothing wrong with that.
scallop potatoes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mystery
Potatoes
meats.
au gratin.
Mystery
Oh, I
meats.
do like the
Potato
au gratin.
surprise. What's the surprise? We're still eating potatoes.
Baked
So anyway,
potatoes.
that's been my couple weeks.
That's
So
exciting though.
potatoes.
So just wait for bad weather and just go down the rabbit hole because as he found out, like you just once you get sucked in,
Right.
you got to have a safe word and you have to have somebody come and get you because once you get sucked into that, there's no coming back.
And what I keep saying, and I don't know that I can drive this point home anymore. I told him, I told everybody else who's asked me about it, because a couple years ago when Mom got us for Christmas the deal, which I still think I want to do. Because you've got the Ancestry.com and you've got the 23andMe. And
Right.
They
I
both
just did
look
this
at
one 'cause it
different
said
things.
traits, so I was intrigued
So,
by that, so.
one of the things I keep saying, and even though I'm not looking at the same list of information that you two guys are,
Right.
you, as fun as it is to look at it, you got to take the good with the bad.
Sure.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sure.
and one of the things was, and I've said this to Mom, I've said it to everybody, I don't care. You were married to so-and-so, they're part of the goddamn story. My cousin has been married a time or two, so what? So have all these other people. There are X's, there are O's, there's all kinds of shit.
Right.
Well, it all makes up the whole story of your life. Now, granted, there may or may not be genetics involved, but when I found out that my biological father's father, there was a little brief marriage in there that everybody had just
Oh, that's right.
forgotten about.
That's right. I remember you
Completely
mentioning
forgotten
that.
about. And even once I brought it up to Mom, she's like, "Oh my God, I forgot all about Naomi."
Yeah.
Well, then I started digging, found my grandfather's, whatever he'd be, some cousin. Anyway, he lives in Texas, still alive, about my mom's age. And come to find out, he had a picture, not real well, like a picture, but then he remembered the story of her, and he's like, "Oh my God, she was crazy." And I was actually able, through records, to find out they got married in Washington State.
Where the crazy people are kept.
But anyway, but it's
Yeah, a lot
interesting
of
to
times.
see this whole thing. But it fills in, for me at least, it filled in some stories of like that nobody ever talked about.
Right.
I talk about my I knew very well my mother's parents, where they were from, what they went through, and all of their life, because we all talked and we were very close.
Right.
But the one grandmother, my father's biological mother, she would never ever talk about her youth. Well, come to find out, when I went back through it, I could find all the places that they had lived as children because they were dirt poor.
Yeah.
They lived in shacks in a mining town, and her father, her
She was
stepfather,
embarrassed
was
about
a
it, or-
chemist for a mining company and made no money. Like, but she would never. But I would have found that. Why wouldn't she have shared that with me?
Embarrassed or
I don't know what it was,
Yeah,
but
everybody
she
has
was.
a different reaction to their past.
She didn't want to because they were in high cotton and good money back. I mean, when I came along, because of the side of she remarried and that was oil money and there was a bunch of that. But it was I am lesser for not having been able to hear stories
Sure.
from her childhood of this. So I'm discovering those commercials are right. You find out, you're why do you have a fascination with buses? Well, I don't know. My grandfather was a bus driver. I never knew it, or some stupid thing.
Yep.
Right.
Like I love the water. My ancestors were ship navigators and the whatever.
Sure.
It's just interesting to find out. But the good and the bad is there, and then the pictures you find because.
See, that's and I haven't gotten to any like where I'm.
No,
like, I
you'll-
don't know
Oh, when
where
you
to
start
even
looking
find
up, like,
that stuff.
hours.
It feels
Yeah.
like you're going through the books of everybody that got married that day in
I
West
have no
Virginia,
idea
and
how
you're
to
like,
even get
what's
there.
anybody doing in West
And
Virginia?
the crazy stuff is there are little old ladies, I'm assuming, in libraries all over the world that are doing nothing but volunteering to scan documents that have been on shelves for a million years. Because you will find, well, I also told you, we found out that my mother's mother had a sister older than her that died at like 2 years old that we'd never heard of.
Sure.
And I found the birth certificate. I found the death certificate.
That's wild.
We called my mom's sister, and she's like, nobody knew that. We never knew it. And I don't even know
Yeah.
that my mom's mother knew it because she never mentioned it. They may have just never told her.
Yeah.
Back in 1911.
What, that she had a baby?
No, that she had a sister that died before she was born.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, but kids died a lot then.
No, right. There was a lot of that, and the
That's
the
not,
age.
not really a newsworthy thing.
Right, but I mean, even growing up, I assume if I were to have had an older brother or sister somewhere along the line, I probably would have known about it.
Sure.
Right,
I mean,
right.
But
Yeah,
back
and
then,
Maybe.
And like I said, I wish my dad was alive to find out, like, here's what your father's first wife died of, or any of his brothers and sisters. They're all gone by the time that we dug up that she died from complications of childbirth. She lived another 5 or 6 weeks, and so did the baby, but I don't know that any of them knew. Like, he wouldn't have because it was born before him.
Right.
Like, if the brothers and sisters remembered that, your mother died from giving birth to a baby who also died. Like, there was, or did you just all decide not to talk about that trauma
Right.
that your mother and the brother or sister you were expecting to plunge you further into poverty
oh,
Sure.
right.
had been born? And then my father had always talked about his brother being sick and that the house being quarantined, but he never really knew the story. And then I found in 1940 the census records. He was in a Catholic school for boys because they were so poor
Okay.
that 2 of my father's older brothers were sent to a Catholic home to live, and he caught diphtheria,
Okay.
and they
Wow.
were quarantined.
Sure.
So my father thought it came from jumping off the Grand Island Bridge. Like, he thought it was from, like, he got hit with a rusty,
right.
something like
Sure,
tetanus.
sure.
But they never knew, and he
That
never
was
knew
it.
where his brother had been sent because he would have only been like 11 years old, and
Sure.
where I don't know where my brother went.
Sure.
Right.
They're older. They're considerably older. So it's interesting to find this stuff and the people that you're like, did you know this part? Would this make you feel
Sure.
better or
Or
worse?
Right.
General
Right.
parenting also didn't tell children things.
That's very
Oh,
true.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I
And
mean?
yeah.
even
Like-
up until
So,
even in the 90s, like with a lot of folks that were
Sure.
institutionalized and
Oh,
just all
yeah.
kinds of different
Yeah,
things.
general stories of like
Sure.
the whole
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Like it's very recent, this whole let's tell our kids everything
Right, right.
and just,
Usually
hold
got to
their
get
hands
some.
through. No, you hide these things because they're children.
Right.
Well,
They
and now
don't have the mental faculties to deal with this
with
shit.
all this, the DNA discovery, all the
Yeah.
answers are bubbling to the surface.
Yeah, and then you play cats in the cradle back and forth
Yeah,
a few
right.
times, and the next thing you know, you don't
It's a
have time to
lovely
talk
song.
to
I
them.
just
Yeah.
know that I have a Carbone and a Falcone in my DNA stuff.
Have any
and so I feel
calzones?
a hell of a lot more Italian than the 21%, and I feel good about that.
Good.
Makes
I
me
didn't get
you.
any
happy.
Italian. My stomach is clearly Italian.
My stomach is Italian. That's exactly what
very
I told me.
I
nature
just find
nurture
it-
kind of a thing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I just find it endlessly
thought it was fun.
fascinating
I'm
to
like,
go
oh.
through. In fact, I found not too long ago, a month or so ago, Mom and I were talking about something, and we found out the house before my mom's parents ever met.
Mm-hmm.
We found the house that my grandfather lived in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, wow.
And I pulled it up. Well, I found the address, then I pulled it up on Google Maps, and obviously it was just very cool to find things like that. And again, I mean, stuff she never knew either.
Sure.
But we're learning it because
But I
of, again,
think it's-
census records.
I think it's far more fascinating, and I'm not trying to speak for you, but for me, like it's a hell of a lot more fascinating to me for you to go through because it's stuff you've known that you can then add to that story,
Right.
right?
That's what I'm
for
saying.
me,
It's-
like with the Frank stuff, I don't mean to be rude about it, but I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, that's how I feel. Like these stories don't have anything to do with me.
They don't have anything
They're
to
not,
do
yeah,
with
they're-
me.
yeah.
And so, like, I'm so excited when you are able to tell that stuff because we've talked so much, like, with your grandparents and with different things from your past, that it's exciting then. And through you, like, I'm excited for you that you're able to find those things. But, like, if somebody said, oh, yeah, that's where Grandma and Grandpa DeVivo, blah, 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 I'd be like, who
cares?
whatever. And
Right, because nature nurture. It's not my story.
it's not my
Like,
story.
yeah.
But
Right.
if you found something about the Ryer family that I'd be able to look up, and
Right.
then I would be like, oh, my God,
But
that's so
you,
cool.
Yeah.
but you realize when you build your tree, I realize it's not DNA, but when you build your tree on that, you add those people.
How do you add those people?
You literally.
That's when you fall down the rabbit hole.
No, that literally you go through. Okay, I realize that so and so is the sperm donor, and this
Yeah.
is your mother.
Yeah.
But then you create the tree, and then Diane Ryer then married Buzz Ryer.
Yeah.
And then you totally create the tree. I will be more than happy to show you how
And
it's
Because
done.
I can't figure it out. I just
Wait,
have
And you
people
can,
on
and there'll be a
list right
symbol on
now.
there that tells you who has trees, and that you would send them an email. You say, "Can you make that tree public?" And then you have to decide:
Oh, okay.
Do you want to put me on the tree? You can, as another daughter of Frank. Would you want that, or would that
Okay.
upset people? Like, where does that
Sure,
fall into
absolutely.
the story of, like, are people playing this for something pretty, or do they want to know the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you have to ask, like, you end up asking questions like,
Sure.
did you know that was not
And-
your mother's mother? Like, did you know that was her
Right,
stepmother? And
right.
you have to broach that delicately.
And you'll get messages from people who'll be like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember this, or I met you once as a cousin," and you're like, "Yeah, I met you." Like that, or you'll get totally. I may be related to you
Yeah.
only by this. My father drove through Indianapolis in
Right.
1975.
That's when the ugly
And
comes
that-
out.
Right.
But again,
Like
no,
I said,
you
I'm
can-
waiting
The
for
shit
Soon
I don't
Lee to
wanna
come out
know.
from
But you-
Korea.
You
because
totally
that's where Frank
add.
went,
You
so.
totally add it. You create your deal, and then once you get tagged into stuff, obviously people who knew you,
Right.
cousins that are from Buzz's side, and all that stuff that is family to you yet not blood,
Right.
immediately will start connecting you, and you're going to start to show up in other stuff.
Okay.
And then it'll be, oh my God, then that's grandma. Then you're
I feel like this is just going to be a shrub. Like it's just because it's a very small family. Like, I mean, very
You'll
seriously.
find-
Like just it's such a small
It
family.
grows so big.
Yeah.
I'm back to when, and I don't know how deep it is, but I now know when they came from Switzerland over to America. Like I've gone back that far to
Oh wow!
great
Because I feel
grandfather.
like if with the McDonald's side of the family, I'm just gonna find horse thieves and KKK. Like I'm just like this is gonna
And
be
McDonald
my
is your
luck.
mother's maiden name,
Right.
Right, which oddly
and
was.
New and Newcomb, whatever. But yeah,
Is it, I forget, is it MC or is it MAC?
MAC.
It's MacDonald. Got it.
Yep, old MacDonald lived. She grew up on a farm. That's. My name is Marnie Barney. I love purple, not small. Yeah, this is exciting. All
This
these
is-
things.
E-I-E-I-O.
We have
Yeah.
songs. We have all
Luckily,
kinds
you're
of
not
songs
gonna meet like
that
mean
are,
10-year-olds. If I could just leave you
She
there.
has a sturdy gait,
Yeah.
Comfortable shoes.
comfortable
So-
shoes.
Yeah, so my next thing is to do the 23andMe. That's my next.
I want to try that
Okay.
too.
Just so
It-
now, what's the difference?
just
with
it's
those?
just like Coke or Pepsi. Like some
Right.
people chose this way, some people
That's a
went
wonderful
this
way to say that.
Like there's no real difference, but find out who went that way, and if there's more information, and then I'm kind of losing interest in the information.
Well, I keep, and I get
Yeah.
I've been
Because
in
other
it.
people's stories are more interesting than mine. Like when I got home and got trumped right away by better stories than mine, and I'm like, well, fuck this.
Well, I don't like them.
I've been
I'm
in
not the
it.
star of the soap opera.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch the
I've been in the
motherfucker.
mix just I've been in the mix just a little longer than you, so I don't know how many updates you've received.
That's
But
funny.
but again, like he was saying, the more people that play, the information delineates and becomes a lot more specific.
Okay.
So I get updates probably every other month of my DNA. Like initially, we got the report of your DNA is this, and you get the spectrum of you're European and you're this and you're that and all that. Well, it changes because more people get in there and the data gets thicker and it so
Yeah,
it does
takes you
change
down to that town.
So you get different.
I get
updates
less
on the-
French with every update.
Well,
Bone
and
fucking
I haven't
swab.
updated in a while, but I still get different things. And again, you get an email occasionally from somebody that says, "Hey, I knew of your grandmother. I knew of some, or I was friends with blah blah blah. We went to high school." Again, you'll find I guarantee you, if you go through this, you will find pictures of Buzz, and
That's
that
wild.
you will never have seen in your life. Because it was amazing. I
intrigued by
found
that, yeah.
I found high school yearbooks of my grandparents that I never knew existed. And if they knew existed, they just hid them.
But you have to pay to get the tree first. Is that
No,
right?
tree is free.
Oh.
Building your tree is free.
Okay.
But then with a paid subscription, then you get to go in and you see a lot more of the records and stuff. In fact, I
see.
think I bought the one. I think the one I currently have is where I can see international documents,
Okay.
which is where I went in and was able to find not all, but several, and because I haven't gone through all of the records because there's billions of records, where because my grandfather and his family lived right on the Canadian border and would go from Montana north across the border to the market to buy supplies. So every time they would cross the border, they had to sign the register and go back and forth. So I've got his sister, my grandfather, all of his brothers, where they would go back and forth.
That's pretty cool.
And it's interesting to see that. And I remember my grandfather telling me stories of, and one story in particular, in the winter, he had to ride to wherever this market was, horseback. And he's a kid. He's probably like 10 or 12 years old. And he rides horseback and he gets whatever supplies, and a box of matches was in a saddlebag.
Okay.
And while he was riding the horse, the motion of the horse caused the matches to rub together, and there was not enough oxygen for them to ignite.
Yep.
But every match had rubbed together and were all worthless by the time because they'd all just fired instantly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he made it all the way home and had no matches. So
That
again,
would suck.
no, it did. But the point of it is,
I get
I
it.
now have a point of a reference of seeing a document that shows his signature crossing a border into Canada, and it may
For
not have
this
been
thing.
that
Right.
story
Right.
or that day, but I get to like, oh my God, I know of this. So again, when you research it, though not blood, you're going to find things about Buzz and the family that you're going to be like, oh my God, I remember he told me about blah, blah, blah.
That's pretty cool.
You're going to put a picture together.
I think I'll be far more about finding out about with the Ryer family.
Right, no, and I'm sure you will. Or even the McDonald, even your
Yeah,
mom's
absolutely,
side. I'm sure you will.
absolutely. Yeah.
The blood stuff is good, and the health stuff, because a lot of genetic stuff is what is going to give you
Sure.
that. But no, I still think you will find value and joy in that. I just think it's fascinating.
Sure. Well, I'm excited about it. I mean,
Portions of tonight's program sponsored by Ancestry.com.
that's right.
If only that were true, we'd all get a ring.
I know, right? So it'll be. I mean, it seems like exciting, but I'm with Al. It just seems like just a bunch of names right now.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, okay.
If you would like, I mean, at the end of this, because I know I showed you a long time ago.
Long time ago, and it was really cool.
But
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to log in on my big screens out there and show you how large the tree is now of my family.
Okay.
And show you, because again, you can, and I'll be more, because
I would love
we're
that,
talking
yeah.
Ancestry.com, right?
Yeah.
More than happy to help you with that and show you how that
Thank you.
goes.
I would love that.
To me, again, hours on end.
Sure.
I have spent sitting there just going through documents and
Well,
things.
and I know my uncle has too, but I don't really want to talk to him about it.
Well, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean-
but you will also find, because other people that you have no idea were friends of or whatever, or relatives, and
Sure.
and you'll find out, like he was saying, like Al was saying, their tree is built, and somehow you're in somebody else's tree because they knew about you, but you don't necessarily know about them. So all of a sudden you'll be like, this woman has already built a huge part of a tree that gives you a lot of information, and they just share the information with you.
It was my foot, by the way. It just made a squeaking sound. I heard.
This is the nonsense. Like, this is the size of this tree.
Oh, I don't even know what the hell that is. I've not ever seen.
I mean, you
that.
can just go around and find like parents, 19 children, because they're Irish, so they have babies every fucking 5 seconds.
No, but I mean, that screen, whatever I.
Well, this down
have
here
done
is
on
the
phone.
guide to the tree, so it shows
And
you
I
where
can't-
you are on this.
I only
giant-
have the app
I
on
don't
my
do it.
phone.
I can't do it on my phone. It's too small.
Okay.
The screen is bigger because you can then see. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done it there too. But or on that, right? But
Yeah.
on the phone, it's like I'll never be able to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally, all I have are names
Yeah.
of people. That it doesn't. Nothing else.
And
There's-
again,
It is there. You just got to look around.
the initial is overwhelming, but as you start to sift through it,
like with
it
all
will
those
become a
different
lot.
matches, I'm like, what?
It'll become easier for you.
Because the whole world is fourth cousins.
right,
Right.
right, and it feels like that's what I am to everyone.
Yeah.
Just that,
Just fourth cousins.
because I have such a small family.
Right, but somewhere 3 generations ago, somebody had 20 kids.
Sure.
And they all had 20 kids, and those are all your fourth cousins.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
because they had farms and they needed cheap labor, so
Yeah.
they just kept
Keep having
they just
kids.
kept Nana
Right.
knocked up in the kitchen, just cranking
Yeah.
out
That's
children.
right.
And when you
That's
get to
right.
7th cousins, you're like, okay, I could be related. At 7th cousins, you could be related to any fucking person on the
But
planet.
also at seventh
You know.
cousins, I think you're safe to get married to them.
But then,
right?
by 3rd cousins, you're
Rudy
safe.
Giuliani married his second cousin, so
Oh well,
Well,
And that's
no.
really the line. Like that really is it. Second cousin is where
no.
Really?
I'll ask Jerry Lee Lewis about this someday.
Yeah, right?
I think he married closer than second.
It was
he married
first.
first cousin.
It was first
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we're Tyler Perkins.
Yeah, but remember, I'm not related to Perkins.
No, I know, but
yeah.
but to me, like I'm not related to Ryer either, but that's what I
Oh,
would jump
but
out of my skin to find.
I'll just help you out.
Yeah.
If their names aren't John, Robert, Thomas, Debbie, or some version of Al,
Right.
you're in the wrong family. Or William.
Okay.
But I didn't say William yet.
Fair.
Everybody's got 17 Williams. And there's
Got it.
people named Thomas Thomas. Their last name
Tom
is Thomas.
Tom Thomas.
Yeah, Tom Thomas.
Yeah.
Sure. John Johnson.
My
Sure.
mother's maiden name was Thomas, and she had a brother and a son named
Right.
Thomas Thomas.
Wow.
I mean, a brother and a nephew. So
Oh
one
my
of
God.
her brother named. You didn't think it was a bad idea when you grew up with it, motherfucker.
Good enough for me. It's good enough for him.
Yeah, you can suffer with this too. So I did the Candytopia, and because we're on that section 10 years
I like
later.
it. Yep.
And
Oh, we're
then
still doing that? All right.
It's just Oscar season, so movies, charming TV shows, and got triggered at the Total Wine last week and needed to go be a booze hound, and
Oh my gosh, what
luckily
happened?
found out how close Jason Carlton lives to me on foot.
Oh, yeah.
via car.
Real close to you.
Yeah, if
Well-
you go on foot, it's even closer than it is by car.
Good for you.
Because you can cut through
You can
places.
cut, that alley's open.
Yeah.
Total Wine a little too busy for you?
No, I just wanted to drink. I was like, oh my God, I want to drink this and I want to drink this.
I wonder if Carlton's awake. Oh, yeah. He's awake.
I did
That's
see that
great.
post.
So
What was I
helped.
doing
No,
that day?
I haven't followed up. So now we will follow up. But I helped. We helped Gabe, little cookie, with a,
Yep.
a job interview with a company that Jason works for, and we all put our thinking caps on and made up drinks and helped him with the presentation. And
Oh, fun.
It was a lot of fun. We did some kitchen chemistry and made drinks, and we made up a Southern old fashioned.
Okay. What
so
made it southern?
we did a New Orleans style. We called it the NOLA.
They talk
Okay.
like this when they made it.
That's right. Just
So,
like that.
Yeah, that's more North
And they stood
Carolina
in the
though.
tub.
Whatever.
When you got the
Whatever.
lilt, you're more North
Okay,
Carolina.
but I want to hear about the
so
recipe.
we did Jack Daniel's Rye because
Yeah, yeah.
that was the liquor that he was supposed to work
that he
with.
was assigned to, right?
Then we did we did a little bit of vanilla, but we decided to take that out because it was too strong.
Too much.
So then
right?
we did praline
Oh, yeah.
liqueur.
Yep.
Cool.
So good.
and Mr. Black pressed coffee vodka.
Okay.
It's a liqueur kind of. It's kind of like way too on steroids. Kahlua.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to call it like chock full of nuts with the pralines and the coffee taste and the whiskey.
Right.
But so we helped him do it from like your value price bars, which is I guess what they have to say instead of dive
Yeah.
bars. You could do it with hazelnut liqueur
Sure you
and
could.
and some Kahlua
Right.
with that Jack Rye and still end up and just
In a similar place, right?
yeah, we were like out of 6, like 4 parts Jack, 2 parts praline, and 1 tiny part
And like a
Mr.
half
Black
part, yeah.
because that went too far.
Too far. It's
No,
too
it
much.
was. That's what I mean about it being on steroids. Like it
It
took the
feels really
Kahlua
boozy.
taste,
I feel like I would want something not alcoholic to add to
and
that.
I think the Kahlua might have helped that. Like if it had been Kahlua and not as boozy as
Right.
Mr. Black felt,
because all of that just feels too boozy.
it was
I
lighter
feel
than
like
you
I
think
want
though with
something
the
to cut.
one
Yeah.
cube. And that's our we were saying like instead of where you would maybe use like a cranberry, like a light cranberry juice or something,
Mm-hmm.
like trying to find something to add to that. But it was delicious.
In a dive bar, what would I put in there?
Yeah, we were kind of at a loss too, but we wanted to keep it simple because the poor thing had to carry all those ingredients to a job interview and make drinks.
Get a backpack, bitch.
Oh, he did. Yeah, I mean, he brought everything. He brought everything.
I can bring half
Sounds
of.
yummy,
In fact, I
actually.
often do bring half of a bar with me. to
Yeah.
work.
Right? That sounds
But
really
so
good
it was
then.
fun inventing. We invented a couple different things,
That
and
is really
Jason
fun. I
had
love
some
doing
really
that.
like terrific surprises. I'd never had a 21-year-old Scotch. He had a lovely bottle of 21-year-old Scotch.
What?
I
Do you
can't
remember
get
the
with
brand of
scotch.
that?
I wish I could.
I do. I have it written. I took a picture.
Can you really tell the difference?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Once you hit 18, it's all just tasting real good.
Okay.
But from like 12 to 18, you
I
can
just
really
am
tell
not
the
a
difference.
Scotch drinker. That's why I just don't know. Like if when people say those kind of things, I'm like, can you really tell?
You it
like smoother or
it's
something.
smoother going down, and it just warms the cockles. Like you just
Okay.
you just instantly get this nice, lovely flush from just a sip.
Okay.
That once the flush goes away, then you're just warm and you just feel
Okay.
kind of like centered. It's a
Sassy,
delightful
maybe
feeling.
a little bit.
That's the second sip.
That's great.
Oh no, we just took a picture of the ingredients
That's okay.
and the wine that I liked. But that was a fun night. And then, like I said, just movies. And a sad thing. Yesterday in the daytime, there was a shooting at an office complex. Yeah. And the gentleman that was shot and killed was, Northwest Phoenix.
Okay.
Disgruntled employee at a
in
temp
Glendale
agency.
something, yes?
Yeah, that was a friend of mine's husband.
Oh, I'm
that
so
was killed.
sorry.
Yeah, so they have a small child and right near the holidays, and so I mean the shooting gets closer and closer to home and just senseless, absolutely senseless.
Yeah.
So and it's
I'm
one of those
so
things that there's
sorry.
nothing to say or there's really nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what do you offer someone with that? Like, just senseless, just awful.
It really is, yeah.
Completely.
So, thoughts and prayers for him to just, I don't even know how you make peace with that and you don't go try and stomp out the person that did it. Like, forgiveness. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing on that.
Wow. That really does. It brings it so much closer to home.
Yeah, and it really does just take the wind out of you when you hear, like, someone, like...
Oh.
And how do you make sense of it? Like, just, because you can't.
Yeah, like,
There's
when did temp
absolutely no
agencies
way.
become violent?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
awful, but
Right.
violent? So...
Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then to you, who actually
Well,
went on a
I think
vacation.
you went on a vacation, I heard. Just stay in town then?
Just a little vacation. It was fun. I think it was more educational for me than and I will start off this whole adventure story with I did not go to the fish market that you were sending me
it's
to.
not a fish market.
Or whatever, it's a
Charming.
house, it's a
Yeah.
restaurant. It was the best fucking food in Puerto Vallarta. I had a lot of fantastic fucking food
Yeah, he's
in
good for
PV. It's amazing food, and those people clearly know how to make seafood. So it was wonderful. But I'm saving that for my next trip, or whenever the hell that will be, because I certainly will be going back based on my experiences from this past 7-day trip there. I will start out, and these are in really no order, but I have several pictures, and I figured I have to because people heard that I had gone somewhere. This was the view from my hotel suite, which was lovely, and we were at the very end. There is a road. Well, you've been there, obviously. So the road where the blue chairs is, which we will show in a minute, at the very, very end of that road is the last hotel, which is where we were. The other ones that were up behind us that are on the mountain, you have to go another way to get to. But this is the last one that is closest to the water. And it was just, every morning you woke up to that, and it was just stupidly beautiful. This is the picture showing where the road ends. That's the road that goes up the, by the Blue Chair Resorts and all of those.
Is that the one that's less traveled?
Yes.
The road less traveled, yes. And all of those streets are made out of big cobblestones.
Which are delightful to walk on when you're a little bit buzzed.
Yeah, great. But I also found out why they're made out of cobblestones, because the merchant ships back in the day, when Puerto Vallarta was founded in 1851 and their big export was silver. So the ships that were bringing in the salts and the different things that they used to purify the silver with, they used cobblestones as counterweights within the ship. So when they got there and offloaded, they offloaded all these goddamn stones, so they just had stones everywhere. So they made all of the roads out of cobblestone and sand, made them easy to repair and fix, but also when the rains came or the water would just run right out of them and not flood the city. Education all around, I found out. There
God
was
knows there's enough hills in that goddamn
Oh,
city.
there are enough hills. There definitely are. This was a view from another rooftop of one of the resorts, where you see the lighter blue on the left of the picture. For those of you watching, this is called Mantamara. That's the newer resort that's down there. If you look over in the corner, right below where it says Phoenix, Arizona, up in the upper right-hand corner, those little blue, that's where we were. That's blue chairs.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Okay.
But it was wonderful. The staff there is fantastic. The guys that I went with, everybody knew them because they'd gone for many, many years. Come to find out that a lot of the guys that work there, the servers, have been there since they were kids, and they're like in their 50s now, and they have full families, and they've raised kids, and their entire working life has been being a server on a beach, and they don't work for hourly. They only work for tips. They hustle. They really hustle.
Yeah.
And they were all so freaking friendly and nice. It was wonderful.
Honestly, if you got to be a server,
And
for
if
your
you
whole
want to
life,
breathe and
like, do it
swim,
on
you
the
just
beach.
walk 1 foot in any direction away from those blue chairs.
Yeah.
Because those gays are concentrated and like, oh my God, it's like you can spread out.
Oh, the entire beach, because of the white party weekend, the whole damn beach was that. And where we were in this picture, if you were just to
But
the
the
left.
service is better by the blue chairs, so everybody's
Clearly.
congregated there for
Oh,
their beers.
the Mantamar Resort, which is probably new since you've been there, all gay all the time, and they're tapping into the high dollar almost. So where those aqua blue tints are there, that's where the white party was, which we didn't realize was literally right out off our balcony. So all night long, the fucking dance music.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they have a noise ordinance at 1 a.m. That stops.
Okay.
What we didn't know is that at 12 o'clock, that's when the fireworks went off, and we were all dead asleep and set right the fuck up out of your bed because it was loud as hell. So that was interesting.
They do fireworks a lot down there.
They do love fireworks. This picture, this is the chef that we had for the week. Her name was Sarah. She's 60. She was wonderful. Fresh fruit, fresh guacamole every morning. She was so fun, and she made margaritas for the whole day. She made pictures of stuff, steak burritos for the rest of the day.
I love her already.
She was charming as hell. She was very lovely. This is the picture of my the little room I was in. That's the kitchen and dining area. And then on the other side, this little hotel that we were in called Vallarta Shores, a lot of the suites are owned by families or other people, and then they rent them out while they're not there. Because in one of these, the one I was in, there's one whole closet, like full washer, dryer, and all of their supplies were locked away.
Yeah.
But it's just charming as hell. It's an adorable little place. One of the days on a Sunday was the Ross Matthews, who is pictured center top row right there.
How fun.
He has a brunch shtick that he does at like 17 places around the country and Mexico, where every Sunday all the local drag queens, they have a big brunch celebration, blah, blah, blah. He was there kicking it off that weekend, so we met him.
Oh, fun.
Very nice. Went to every table, took pictures with everybody. He was very funny, very charming. At that same thing, I fell in love twice when I was in Puerto Vallarta.
Okay. Good.
Just the twice?
Just twice. Well, this is the server who was there that day. Emmanuel, he was there. Adorable. Running around serving everybody. So there's the first time. Or no, that's the second time I did. The first time was this, when I found the guys on the beach that do leg massages.
Oh, there you go.
Fortino is his name. And it was wonderful to sit there. And again, I'm 30 feet from the water.
Yeah.
Everybody's swimming and going and doing all of their things. But this kid was really, really nice. And I got a lot of education asking about all kinds of things.
Sure he did too.
Yeah.
Oh, he could give two
Is that
shits.
what we're calling it?
Yeah, a lot of education about different things, and found out he has a brother who's been doing this for his whole life, and that's what he does. And I learned one big thing, which was interesting. We'll go back to the pictures. There's an authority for the licensed vendors. There's an authority that goes around specifically for massage therapists on the beach. If you are massaging past 3:30 of a day, they permit you to finish the massage you're doing, and then they pull you to the side, and that's where you get sanctioned for going past the time.
Oh, wow.
And what they do to keep from financial corruption going on, they don't take money from you. They confiscate something of yours, and you have to go then to an office and get it back and pay your fine. So what they do is, because they all walk around with their chairs and their umbrellas and their bag of lotions and all that shit. So the day that I got the second massage, they came and busted him because it was after 3:30, and they took his umbrella. And it's 250 pesos to get it back. So he came back and told me what happened after it was over. And he's like, but I'm not going to go. He goes, new umbrella's 200 pesos. I'm just going to go buy a new umbrella. They can keep it. I don't care.
There's an office full of umbrellas.
Right.
Sure,
But it was very
sure.
interesting. This is who I went with, Mark Howard and his lovely boyfriend, Rocco. And we had a great time. This is the night I sent you the video of Donna Summer playing a video in the dance bar. Mr. Flamingos is where we were. Very cute little bar. This is a sign.
That's when you were the closest to the taco shop.
Oh, no. Closest was 2 doors down at La Noche, which is a
No, I
beautiful
meant
one.
the shrimp place we were trying to get you to.
Oh.
Mr. Flamingos is like the closest.
This sign made me laugh because you're on the fun side of Trump's wall, like there really was a wall. I'm trying to think. Oh, this is one of the taco places in Restaurant Row we ate called Pancho's Tacos. You wait 40 minutes outside. The line is so long if you don't get there early enough. But if you go to the servers, they start to serve you margaritas in line until you get to the food. The food was phenomenal.
Yeah. It's just a fun
Phenomenal
town.
town. We finally got inside at 8, and it was just remarkable food. Again, everywhere we went, It was just remarkable food. By the time we left, they had their Christmas. The last day, they had their Christmas tree up in the lobby of our hotel, which made me laugh. But again, it was very cute. I loved it. 7 days, I think, is a little bit too long. And the horror of the end of my trip was when we were there, checking online of our reservations and the like. Southwest Airlines changed our flight return, and rather than leaving at 2 o'clock from Puerto Vallarta, going through Houston like we should have been, and getting home at 8 p.m.,
Right.
they rerouted us to Los Angeles.
Okay.
So I left at 5 p.m.,
Yep.
got to Los Angeles, had a connecting flight, had to go through the brand new international terminal,
Okay.
an hour and a half through customs because
geez.
clearly America doesn't know how to run customs
Yeah.
like Mexico, because Mexico they're
Yeah,
efficient.
yeah.
They in and out, they got your shit. No, that was a nightmare. Then you have to walk all the way from the international terminal to Terminal 1.
Okay.
It was just, I do not ever want to go through an international flight again through LAX.
Okay.
That was no bueno to
No
me.
bueno.
I have told this story before.
I'm saying.
LAX is awful.
Yeah.
Well, I did not choose that by any means
Sure.
because that was their own doing. And I come to find out it's again, they had to reroute stuff because of the still grounding MAX, the 737 MAX jets. They're limited on planes still because all those are on the ground.
Sure.
So they're having to jockey shit. Oh, and then I was really astounded with how damn many children were on the return flight with families coming back from Vallarta on that Tuesday.
You think families don't like a beach vacation?
No, right.
The gays have started adopting.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, there's that
No.
too.
It was the straight families. Cheese and rice, and apparently none of them know.
Yeah,
no
but the Tuesday
medications.
after that sounds wild because they would have been back in school.
This whole
Yeah, but
flight,
if you can afford a family to four,
You're right.
you know what I mean?
and they're flying.
fair point.
You're,
Some
you're
of the
just going to
families,
pull them from school for a couple of days because that flight's going to be a little
some of the
cheaper.
families
Yeah,
are
you're
flying
right.
literally with 4 and 5
a good
children,
point.
and I'm like, "Are you high? Just
even
what the
imagine.
hell? I can't even." It was insane to see some of
They
it.
wish they were high.
It was insane to see, but I was like,
Some of those
"Oh."
moms are high.
And children, sick children, everywhere.
Fucking Zika.
Yeah, I did not enjoy
They
that
start
part of it.
coughing and no one's taught them to cover their fucking mouth. I'm
Yeah.
just done. And I'm talking about the adults.
And when I choose my lane, I always go through.
Hi,
eye it
Jenny.
up.
Hi,
And I
Jenny.
decide, like, okay, they've got a lot of children, but they seem pretty good. Because then there's these two tards over here that are
Didn't
like,
use the full word.
that are like, have backpacked everything they've ever owned
Right.
into their backpack, and they haven't separated anything out. And then they're carrying like 3 other things, and they wore a belt and lace-up shoes. I'm like, you know what? I'm going with the kids. They seem to have it together.
Yeah.
But then there's always somebody building a stroller that decides to build a snowman, and you're like, what the fuck? And in Australia, you have to be ready when that thing, the bin shoots out at you. The actual bin comes out of a conveyor belt, and your spot lights up and tells you it's time for you to load up and get ready to get on the plane. Like, you have to be. You can keep your shoes on, but you have to have your shit out and ready when that bin appears to throw it in the bin and move. If you're not, they boot you to the back of the line. They're like, nope.
Wow.
Try again.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, if you are not ready to make this a
Darwinism.
fast process,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Pick me.
I don't travel with anything.
Meanwhile, I wore pants that were a size too large and got felt up going and coming and back and forth. Yeah.
Wait, was
Well,
that just good planning?
It's yellow right there at your crotch. I'm like, I don't know what that means,
Yeah.
lady. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, your pants are a
Seriously.
little baggy.
yeah.
Bitch, I lost weight.
No.
Thank you.
Seriously.
The word you're looking for is congratulations.
That's right. That's right.
Those people are soulless, too.
But I
don't know
was
what they do to
told
them.
while I was there, which I've only flown domestically, so I've got the TSA pre-check, which is a wonderful thing domestic. But I did not know of the glory of global entry. So guess what Clayton's going to be doing in the next few months? I'm going to be getting fucking global entry. I may never travel again, but I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Because that shit, you get to just walk by and go, I'm good. And they just sickle you through, apparently.
Okay.
Wonderful. Like the app on the phone does it fills out information and does shit.
Yeah, your passport's all set and ready to go.
Now that's interesting. But one of my little check mark boxes in my life did get fulfilled when going through the customs in Mexico, because you've got all your paperwork and you filled out your form on the plane, and they go through, and the little lady's like, why are you here? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And she checks you through. And then the guy does the little stamp thing with, stamp. So my first passport
me.
stamp ever is Mexico.
Nice.
Oh, very exciting.
Nice.
And did they do the green and red light in Mexico when you were there? Was that a thing when you go through customs? When you check in, they do your passport, and then the little person talks to you, and then they make you push the button for the green or red light as to whether it's a way to randomly inspect your luggage.
Oh yeah, I've done that a lot of different times.
Yeah. So fortunately, she goes,
Feels
okay.
like a fun game.
Little lady,
Yeah,
she
right?
looks at me. She goes, okay, now you get to press the button, and I did. It goes green. She goes, welcome to Mexico.
Yeah.
And that was it. Otherwise, if it goes red, they pull you aside, and it's just a random check thing.
Oh, Curacao, where they had the carts in front. I'm like, I want my passport stamped. The guy was like, not here. Keep moving. And the actual like people not from that country, I'm like, well, where else would you be flying from if you're not from this country? And they had carts in front of it. They're like, we don't even want to know. Like, you're not bringing drugs this way.
Right.
We know that.
Sure.
Nobody's
Right.
bringing
Sure.
drugs to Curacao to get somewhere else. Just
Right,
go about your day. And I was so mad because I wanted a stamp,
Oh, gotcha.
and it
Sure.
didn't get stamped.
Yeah,
I get mad
have
when they
my
don't stamp
passport,
me.
but they don't stamp them going to Nogales. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in that. It's the only place I've gone since I had my passport. Just give me the fucking stamp.
Also,
Yeah, they don't
They
stamp you
won't.
when you cross the border into Canada either.
Damn it.
Yeah, I was told
The
that
only
from
two
Doug
things
Shaw
that would
yesterday.
happen.
I guess if it's global entry or whatever you have, like literally, you can just drive across and nobody cares.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
Nexus too, but
Oh, Nexus. That's the one he did say.
yeah,
Nexus.
Nexus. That's what I
Nexus.
used to have and it expired.
Ah.
I didn't use.
Yeah, well, no, I'm going to be upgrading that stuff just because it's sense. If something ever happens and I have to go somewhere, I cannot imagine what call that's going to be.
Yeah.
Because everybody I know is here, but still.
Can you go to Mexico? Well, we were all ready
having
to,
a network
we
problem
were
in
all
New
ready to
Zealand.
go
Get on
just
a
to fly
plane.
down there and have those fish tacos. We know somebody. Let's go. Because Frank flies down there just for those.
Well, I'll go. I mean, I'm not opposed to going.
yeah.
Just we didn't make it there. I did make it to Paco's Ranch, which is the
it
Charlie's thing.
Turns into like, the streets are not easy.
Oh, right. But we walked everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, did we walk everywhere. It was very interesting. I kept pointing out things that they'd never noticed before because my concern was architecture. How did this stuff get built?
Sure.
When did electricity get there? Which I found it was 1930.
Yeah.
Those gays don't care about
All of
that.
those. Oh, and the cars. That fascinated the hell out of me because they have cars that we don't have.
Sure.
Chevrolet still makes it. Well, Nissan, Isuzu. The Chevy Love truck from the 80s,
I don't know.
still made. Brand new. Chevrolet
to
still
look that up
produces
'cause I
a
don't
Chevy
think that
Love
I don't know what
pickup
that is.
that's down there. Nissan and Toyota have wonderful minivans that we don't have here.
Yeah.
There is a Chevrolet Tornado, which looks like a Subaru Brat,
Okay.
which is the little truck thing
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
made. Yeah, have make that drives all over the place.
Yeah, even I'm fascinated by cars when I travel.
I just think I
So,
took
like,
a
what
lot
the
of.
and who named that? You know what I mean? Because you're like, they wouldn't have a Dodge Avenger because who the fuck knows what that would mean to somebody in another country. But
Chevrolet learned years and years ago when
good
they
point.
produced the Nova and they released it in Mexico. It didn't sell anywhere because Nova means no go. So they had to rename that. So they have to come up with different names because of language barriers.
oh, Nova. Yeah, Nova means don't go.
Didn't
yeah.
go. So they're like, well, nobody's going to buy a car that says no
Yeah.
go.
That's very funny.
Yeah. One of the
LUV? I don't know. What
Chevy
this is.
Love, LUV. It was actually an Isuzu
Oh my
vehicle
God, totally,
rebranded.
yeah.
But I saw one. It was brand new. I about fell
Well,
over.
that's a horrible color, but
No,
that's-
right. But if you look at the
a
tailgate,
beauty.
look at the tailgate of the truck, and you'll
Is
see the
she?
font that Chevrolet is imprinted on the tailgate.
Yeah.
If you can find one, they use the exact same font, and I was about like,
Oh, sure.
yeah, very very specific to that vehicle.
Well,
Moral of the
that's
story, I
interesting.
went to the beach and got excited by fonts on tailgates.
Yeah.
Oh no, I drank more Corona than I've ever drank in my life.
Oh, that's
I was
good.
tired. In fact, I took a day off. I'm like, come on, boys. I can't. I mean, I'm going to start smoking Vincent Hedges or something along with you. Because, nobody I went with smoked, but I'm like, I don't drink beer, and I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Because they don't really pour cocktails that strong, I didn't feel. And I'm like, well, why am I going to spend whatever it was, $3, $4 for a cocktail? I'm like, when a bucket of Coronas is $10,
Yeah.
I'm like, screw this. We're just going to go this route. And it was really odd. I told my mom this the other day when we got there because Mark knew all of the correct banks to go to that you don't get fucked over and they don't scam your card and all that shit. And when you go to the ATM and you pull out 30,000 pesos,
right.
you're like, and it says $150 or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it was, and it's like it seems odd to hit
Yeah.
the button for yes for a $30,000.
Dollar
Like I
transaction.
said, when
Because-
you go out for dinner and they're like, that'll be 4,107 pesos.
Right.
You want what?
Yeah.
Oh, $25.
Right,
Okay. Yeah. Shit. Can't you just say that?
It was wonderful as far as that was. But again, everybody I did say this to the boys, and it was interesting for me. And you understand this because I realize you have traveled extensively. I don't know if international for you two as much. Just
Never
enough?
left
Okay.
I've
country.
been to Puerto Vallarta. And
It was
like
very interesting to me, and I guess to a point, I see why you enjoy the travel so much. It is, even though I felt that I already knew this, it was just very, very solidifying to realize all of the bullshit that we hear about the caravan and all the people and everybody wants to come to America and all the horrible people in Mexico, yada, yada, yada. They are the hardest fucking working people ever.
Yeah.
They just want a good life for whatever they can make, and they want to help their family. That's all they want to do. They're just the most giving, wonderful people
Yeah.
down there. And I do realize I was in a tourist town, and I know that that's their business. But still,
But they're working at their business.
they're hustling.
and they're making that town more and more lovely and
Yeah, they're just
trying to
wonderful,
make
wonderful
the
people.
difference between in like the 8 years in between me going, how much safer it was 8 years later. Like there wasn't the dark streets. They had like put in so that the streets were more lit, and after a certain hour you could walk down this street to where you were staying without feeling like, okay, I'm completely in the dark. There's no markings on the street.
I
but now
never
the streets
felt unsafe.
yeah, the streets
Right.
are, and everybody does their streets different. You know what I mean? So that always helps. Is you have to know like, where are your street signs? That's a good question to ask the first day. Like, where am I looking to find? Because I'm looking for a street sign, and you wrote it on the side of a wall.
Right.
You know,
and
50 feet
and
up.
it's both when you're in
Yeah.
the area. There's some are on the buildings and some are not. One other picture I will show
How
you.
seriously do you take crosswalks?
You just reminded me. The first night we were there, we were at one of the bars and we were on the second story, and this blew my mind. The power lines, because the whole city was retrofitted many, many years later after things were built with power. These are power lines at a second story balcony of a bar.
Yeah, that you could just grab onto.
They're wrapped in
I wouldn't-
insulation so that you can't shock yourself. But those three big, those yellow, the
But
red
if you're
lines,
kind of buzzed and you walk out on that patio, you think
those
that's the
are
railing.
power lines.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I was marveling just standing around looking at all wires run everywhere. One other story
I
was
guess I've noticed that, but I've never. That I don't know that I would have ever. That I've ever seen.
it was
Well,
crazy.
that was one of the first things I saw at that bar. I was like, wait, somebody's gonna walk up here and lean on that motherfucker.
Right. So those were all wrapped in insulation. One of the crazy things I saw was the way that they drive is amazing. I did have no desire to drive in the little town in Old Vallarta. Or New Vallarta is even worse because that's a faster mess.
Yeah.
These little streets. But they whip through there with buses
yeah.
and cars and trash trucks and everything. And trash collection in Old Vallarta is every night about 1 a.m. Everybody, all of the businesses, because they have no alleys, there's no dumpsters, there's nothing. They pile all of their garbage on a corner of a major intersection in various places throughout the city. And a trash truck comes through with a crew every night and collects this.
Okay.
They separate out their aluminum cans. The aluminum cans go in bags and go on top of the trash truck. There is one guy who rides on top of said trash truck. And as they drive through town, he throws power lines over the truck.
Oh,
Yeah, so or whatever line is going across the street. He's there because the bags
does
would...
he get paid extra?
I don't know. I have no idea what he does. But when I saw that, I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Wow.
He just running
That's
by.
crazy.
That was nuts. But
Wow.
again, they work so hard and it was just great. I was glad to have gone. It was a wonderful gift. And, well, now I just got to figure out when I'm going to go again, which maybe next year sometime. Don't know. Oh, well,
Jenny said she broke up a poker party at the Hungarian border just to get a stamp. They refused until I refused to leave. Yeah, I tried that shit in Curacao and they wouldn't do it. And then you get disappointed because in Europe, you're once you enter the EU, you never get checked again, so you can't get you don't get stamped.
You don't get stamps
You
everywhere.
only get stamped where you land.
oh.
So like, I only have one Italy stamp because I've gone somewhere else first. Or this time I went through Paris and I went through customs in Paris, which was fun because I'd never had Paris stamped because the one time I was there, they weren't stamping that day. That wasn't part of their.
Rude.
Damn it.
Yeah, it really is. And
Hey, right, you go all the
you're
way-
like, why? I want a stamp. Like I want to prove I was here. Not today, Satan.
I love that Jenny's like, no. No, I'm not leaving.
Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, to answer your question, I don't know why 3:30 is a cutoff time for them, and it wasn't every day, or at least the inspectors weren't there every day. But when they show up, it was a very big presence. You knew that they were, and all sanctioned vendors. I mean, I learned how to say no every 7 seconds because sunglasses, bracelets, hats,
Oh, yeah.
paintings, things whittled out of driftwood, like everything was available. And if they didn't have it, they got a cousin who's going to get it for you.
Yeah, no man molesting.
I've never been offered more weed or coke in my life. I mean, they don't have it on them, but they know where to get it. But anyway.
Isn't that fun? Never once.
What?
No.
Never once
You've
been
never been
offered,
offered?
drugs.
Every 7 minutes.
I
down
must
there.
be that white that just no one.
So all of the official sanctioned vendors, they wear all white shirt and pants, so that you know that they are officially sanctioned.
or crazy.
They don't let children. They've had a big crackdown, I guess, in the past few years for children being on the beach,
Yeah.
being vendors with their parents, because sometimes in tow to
They
get
bring
more-
the 5-year-old around
right,
with the
for
thing of
sympathy.
sunglasses.
Right.
Yeah.
They've cracked way down on that. So what yeah, Chiclet. I saw, oh my God, I saw adorable kid, small. I would bet 4 years old. Comes into one of the bars and he knew where he was going. He had his box of literally chicle. He comes right in. He's got cash in hand and break whatever you got. And he puts his little box on the bar, and the bartender bought gum from him. And he's standing on the foot rail and holding onto the top of the bar so he could get up. Like he had eyes over the bar rail. He was adorable, and mom was at the door, and he made his transaction. I'm like, I just can't imagine. But still, they just nonstop work.
Got to
Yeah.
teach them the family business.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Whew. Well, that's an hour and a half into the first segment. So let's see if we can pull off something like a headline section. Let's see what this
Great
does.
job. Great job.
All right, kids, here we go. Headlines on a Tuesday on this show. Where's my cursor? Cursor! God damn it! There it is. Oh, well, pigeons in Las Vegas are getting very stylish.
The fattest vagina in the world.
Stop talking about me.
Kentucky discovers a lot of meth.
Customer pulls gun when given ketchup instead of jelly.
A strange proposal.
Campbell's doesn't mess around.
I'm trying to save time and only have one.
Arizona man saved by a taco, and perineum sunning burns pucker hole.
Oh, Jesus.
Serious.
God help us all.
Swear to God, serious stories.
No, I know the last one was.
All right, kids, we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. It's Q Talk America. Please stand by.
David, what does burning smell like?
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Ladies, gentlemen, all the ships at sea, and wherever you're listening, whatever day it is. Hi, it's Q Talk America. This is the show on a Tuesday night coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona, where we've had some wacky weather, by the way, of late.
Yeah.
Another tornado funnel yesterday in the valley. We also had hail in the North Valley, where it literally looked like it had snowed up there in the interchange of the 51 and the 101. So a rare weather occurrence in Phoenix.
There's
Here.
no climate change.
No, not at all. No, not
But we're winning because all it does is rain here.
That's not winning for some of us.
We have
Oh
too
no, I
much-
hate fucking rain.
I'm tired
But-
I'm ready for the humidity to go down here.
I
Done.
don't mind. I don't mind the rain at all. I just right now I don't like the rain.
I'm a little. Oh well, right, because of your
Just
roofing
like,
situation.
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
like,
you.
We can stop doing that now.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, wow.
knock this shit up.
Well, here we go with a true, accurate. Well, wait, her view. We got to change this, full zoom, then boom. This is a true story about pigeons wearing cowboy hats, and it's happening in Vegas. The day started out typically, according to Bobby Lee, our story's main witness. On the afternoon of December 5th, he was on his way to a grocery store when he noticed something red outside of his car window. Pigeons were milling around in a parking lot near a dumpster, pecking the ground. Ordinary behavior for these birds, but one detail was a little different. Two of them were wearing miniature cowboy hats. One red and one gray. Baffled, he grabbed his phone. "The birds have hats on, bro," Mr. Lee exclaimed in a 12-second video he later posted on Facebook. Mr. Lee is 26, and he said that he threw some Doritos out of the window for the birds, but it scared him off. But they didn't go far. One settled on a ledge. On the internet, however, the cowboy hat wearing pigeons. Now watch out, there's a pun coming.
I love it.
The post took flight. It got a lot of attention very fast, Mr. Lee said. The day after, I had a lot of news people texting me and people trying to buy the video from me. Storyful, which verifies and publishes material of social media, reached out to Mr. Lee and distributed the video. Local news organizations picked it up, and by Tuesday morning, the video had been viewed, shared, and commented on hundreds of thousands of times. Now, Mr. Lee said he had no idea who'd put the hats on the birds, though he noted one coincidence: the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo was in town. But the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, which organizes that event, had nothing to do with the pigeons wearing cowboy hats, according to Scott Kanowski, the editor of Pro Rodeo Sports News. Now, I failed to get a picture right quick for the viewing audience of these birds, but if you want to Google pigeons wearing hats, it's really easy. I'm going to see if I can get one right quick. But
All I keep thinking is we got both kinds of pigeons, country
Country
and,
and
western.
There
Western.
you go. I like it.
it was apparently the big outrage has been the animal activists are freaking out trying to figure out how in the hell they get them off the birds. Like, how are they secured to the birds, and who is getting said birds
Right.
and putting them on there? How do you
seriously.
get a bird to stop long enough
Right.
to put a goddamn, I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. Let me see if I can get this done right quick. This bird, it was so cute. Desktop, come on. Right here. Look at this bird. Red cowboy hat right there. Little
Wow.
tiny goddamn hats.
That's bizarre.
That is
And
bizarre.
it's
I
a
love it.
pigeon, but it's kind of cute.
Right. And the other one
That
had a
is.
gray hat on apparently, but I just think it's kind of a funny damn story.
That is. I love it.
It's the sissy and bud of the pigeon world.
That's what I'm saying. That's right.
Sissy bud. Ms. Carlson.
Well, I don't know if this is a sissy or a bud, but a woman who spent $76,000 on plastic surgery is happy with her latest vagina operation.
Oh.
That's right. Now, there have been some complications, but she says it's boosted her sex life. Now, her goal here,
There has to be one.
she
Right.
hopes to achieve the world's fattest vagina.
Oh.
Yep.
Goal?
Life goals.
she's
Hashtag
a
life goals.
self-described wannabe blow-up doll who goes by the name of Mary Magdalene. Because
Oh,
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
She says she's been battling some health complications as a result of her recent cosmetic operations.
Her
The 20
vajazzling.
Right.
Wow.
24-year-old. This bitch is 24.
Only
Wow.
24.
She says that the intimate injections
Yeah.
Wow.
have caused her to swell up down there.
Wow.
Despite these issues, she does not regret spending one penny of the $76,000 on her surgery transformation.
So the basement's not flooded; it's just full.
It's just full.
Chock full.
Fat. Basement's full of fat. Well,
Oh, I can't.
something to look forward to. Mary plans to share snaps, that'd be Snapchat, of her fattened
sure.
vagina once the area heals up.
The area.
I just, if I may.
Well, you may.
You may.
May
Thank
I
you.
just?
May I just?
Why not?
Completely reminds me of Margaret Cho. She blowed up, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
wash her vagina, and I can hear that whole thing.
Well, Mary's not out of the woods.
Terrifying.
She's not.
While she's on the road to recovery, she's still facing some complications. She says it's a lot better than it was. However, I have complications with the fat.
Yeah.
So I will need to keep getting vagina injections to even it out.
Wow.
Filler, if you
Just
will.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No pun intended.
20 cc's here, 20 cc's there. She says, I'm worried
Ow.
about one side because it keeps growing. Possibly from the swelling.
Yeah, just infection.
She's a genius.
You got an infected vagina.
Genius. But the doctor told me not to worry, so I'm trying to relax.
Unclench.
Yeah.
Right.
24.
relax.
That's just okay.
24 years old. She's been working as a stripper since she was 17. Her first plastic surgery, of course, was a boob job.
Well, why not?
She now says that her favorite type of cleavage is her camel toe.
Oh my God, this woman.
Is there a face picture of this girl?
I don't-
I sent you. Yeah. Look on your Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
I
you
sent you a
did?
picture of
Stand
her. Yeah.
by. My bad. I
Look
was,
on the Facebooks
Hang
there.
on, let me-
I sent it.
I gotta
Yeah.
get.
Wow.
She says, although when I bend over, it
Oh!
looks like I have a ball sack.
Oh God.
Oh my.
She's
Oh my
hang
God.
on.
I don't know what to
I wasn't
do with
prepared. I was not prepared. I was
In case you were wondering, Mary adds that her vagina surgery has also improved her sex life.
and I guess tips. I was not
Oh
prepared.
my God.
Yep. She
What
says
are
it
we
feels a
about to
lot
look at
tighter
here?
down there.
I'm sure.
yeah.
Cut to picture of Mary Magdalene. We
Son
heard
of a bitch. That's the thing that you had in on the Facebook thing.
that's
That's the picture that I just sent.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know, but I thought that was like I didn't. Oh my God.
this is ridiculous. Completely
That's
ridiculous.
moose knuckle. That's not any kind of camel toe. That's a moose
slash.
knuckle.
That's a literal slash.
Hey Rocky, let me out of these white shorts. That's moose and squirrel.
I mean, I'm sure she's a delightful
Well,
person.
In what
To
way?
tally it all up, Mary here
Conversationalist.
has had 3 nose jobs, 20 dental veneers, and countless lip and cheek fillers. She's also braved the surgeon's chair for 3 boob jobs
Two turtle
and a
doves.
trio of Brazilian butt lifts.
Because just a butt lift wouldn't do.
She needed 3 of them.
But a Brazilian one it had
Well,
to
no,
be.
you can't have just like a Canadian
You
butt
can't
lift.
have a Canadian butt lift. Okay, I didn't
seen
know
the
that.
Canadians
I
and their
didn't know.
butts? No.
I didn't know. I
Gotta
didn't
be
know.
the Brazilian.
All right.
Despite recent complications, the Instagram star, I didn't know she was a star, but she's a
Oh.
star. She'll be
She's a
star. You're
something.
a star, all right.
You can be a
I think
star
we're all
too,
using
darling.
the word star differently.
Mary does not plan on giving up her obsession with plastic surgery anytime soon.
Very
She says it's so
Magdalene to you.
exciting. So exciting. I'm scared, but realistically, won't stop me until I'm dead. I might have ad-libbed that a little bit, but it's
Feels
very
fair.
addictive. Won't stop till she's dead.
Wow.
Good
It's
job.
kind of spot on.
I don't
Atta
know.
girl.
that-
For those
like,
just joining us,
I don't know.
I want to
Kat
know who's
was doing-
measuring all the fat vaginas.
what is wow?
Mary
Huh.
Magdalene, ladies and gentlemen.
What city is this in?
Canada.
Oh, Canadian.
I
Florida.
just don't know. Well, we found the Florida part of Canada.
Yeah. Floridianada.
Wow.
Wow.
I just don't think when that comes up at you, you're gonna put money in it. You know what I mean? Like, I just see myself.
I'm fucking startled right now. I don't know what to
Shrinking,
do
yeah.
with any of that. If that
Just-
came
my
walking,
eyes, my eyes.
yeah.
Just when you think your life is fucked up, look at that.
Is that in the Guinness Book?
JJ.
World's fattest vagina? I don't know.
Nope. The
Oh.
Guinness
How
Book of
are-
World
how are we
Morons.
measuring that?
And who goes to
Are
judge
we doing that with the little clamps like they do
I'd
at the
be
gym
like,
to tell you how
sure,
fat you are?
sure.
Or what
It's
are
a
we doing
BMI
here?
index.
I don't think that
So
anyone's.
it-
Like, yeah, the
Oh
little,
my
the little,
God.
the little pincher
Right.
thing.
If you can pinch an inch, well, come.
It's a lot of
Listen,
a JJ.
Mary.
Wow. Mary.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Mary.
take my
Hi,
word for it.
Nance.
Yeah, you won.
Hi,
No,
Annette.
fuck yeah, yeah, that's the right
Well,
response.
Hi, Annette.
as Tyler Kinney says when he's at the bar, and there are the women outnumber the men in the bar. He says, "You know, it's a little vag heavy in here." That's all in one.
She's a little vag heavy.
Yeah.
She is.
Her.
I wonder if she floats. I mean, did you see those knockers on her?
Oh,
Wow.
Talk about your canoe.
I can't even.
Yeah, there's a bigger man in that
Can't
canoe.
even find the man. There's no way.
He's died.
He drowned in the
Wow.
boat, actually.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to get out of the boat. He drowned in the boat.
Oh, Marnie, please.
Marnie, have
give
a
us-
story.
Segue out of
Come
that.
on.
I don't know how. So, was it about 8 years ago?
Sure,
That
it's
we
your
were trying
story.
to figure out who the fuck Ray J was?
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Oh my God, yes, right.
Well, I just wanted to let you know I found him.
Oh, good. Where the fuck has Ray J been?
Fucking Ray J. I found Ray J just in time, is what I did for the holidays. So, Ray J is apparently a love and hip hop star. You ask what that is? That I can't answer. I think it's something on TV. Anyway, someone else can't find him either. Like, we lost him, but then so
How
did his
did you guys
pregnant
lose
wife.
Ray J?
Oh.
So did his pregnant wife. Her name is Princess.
Well, like you do.
She was stranded by Ray J in Vegas.
Did she look like this?
Nope. Then I would have understood why Ray J ran like hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just, wanted to let you know, if nothing else, that I found Ray J. So Princess is the wife's name. Left me and Melody stranded in Vegas and blocked from calling. Like, no one can get a hold of Ray J.
Where in the world is Ray
Where
J?
in the world is Ray J? Now that he's left and left her abandoned,
Yeah.
I find that I can't find him again.
Oh, he's gone again.
Again. No one can keep their finger on the pulse of Ray J.
He's got a lot to do.
He's busy. He's very busy.
What was his other thing? He was...
He was in a porn video.
Wasn't it a Kardashian?
Was it
Yeah,
the
but he wasn't he
Kim
the last
Kardashian?
person that was with
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston? Yes.
That's why we had our finger on the pulse of Ray J.
Oh God.
Who the fuck is Ray J?
Totally forgot about that part.
So now instead of where in the world
And
is
he's
Waldo,
Brandy's brother, right?
That's right.
Wasn't that the other thing? He was
Yeah.
Brandy's
Holy
brother.
smokes.
There are so many things connecting.
It wasn't a
But
simple story. I remember that.
It wasn't, no. And so we're still looking for Ray J. I had found him, but then he left.
So
again.
still separate, estranged, if you will.
Estranged. And the way that he left his estranged wife and small child. # buy ugly.
Wow, just on the
On a
open
hashtag.
streets of Las Vegas.
A hashtag.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
No, buy ugly.
Oh.
So he was out of there with a hashtag and a smile. I
Well,
guess.
no,
I got to
That's
go.
the way to do it.
It
That
does
feels
get
very
it across
efficient.
all the social
Very
mediums.
efficient.
Yeah.
It does. Exactly. But then just poof, Ray
I've-
J's a
How
magician.
do I not know shit about this Ray J thing?
Now Ray J.
You don't remember the Ray J thing?
I don't remember the Ray J thing.
His last
Who the
post on
fuck
his
is-
on his Twitter page was on Halloween.
Oh, see?
We're a month and a half out.
And this was November 20th. This story. So
Wow.
So maybe I'm just telling you. Like I don't know.
I think it was just like I didn't know anything about the Kardashian story when we started, and he
Life
has-
was
He was
better
at the
then.
Soul Train Awards, so I mean we know
He-
we've seen him.
Yeah, he was the one in the sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
Yep.
But
Oh,
then
okay.
somehow he plays into
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, but I don't remember how.
And I feel like he was like the last person
Yeah,
with her
like
or something like
something
Maybe
that.
like that.
Wikipedia will tell me.
But that was one, and
Good call.
Al sat there very confused, and it became, who the fuck is Ray
Ray
J?
J. Like, how is this guy in all
Yeah.
these stories?
Why do we know all about Ray J? So,
Yeah, Joe asked, wasn't that the
I-
title of the first
that's
show?
right.
And
yeah,
it may have been.
Yeah,
Right.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck is Ray J?
I think that is correct.
Mm-hmm. but I figured, you know what, pulling it all back together, we've found him. Damn near a
So he
decade
was
later.
in San Diego when Whitney Houston died and arrived at the Beverly Hilton where she died at the time the paramedics and police officers came to the scene.
I bet he went out the back door and then came back in.
Then he got angry upon hearing one of the officers make a disrespectful comment about Whitney Houston, prompting him to force entry into the suite prior to being restrained. Though he initially did not publicly address her death, Ray J broke his silence on, mark your calendars, February 17th, 2012,
That sounds
when he
right.
told
That
Us
sounds right,
Weekly
yeah.
that while the world had lost an icon, he had lost a close friend.
That's right.
He is brother to Brandy.
That's right. Yep.
And I'm thinking maybe customer. Maybe that's why he was so sad she was gone.
I mean,
I mean, I don't want to make it.
She had receipts. Remember? Don't die in Sawyer. Got
Got
receipts.
receipts.
Keep your receipt.
Crack is whack.
Keep your receipt.
Crack is whack.
And in Kentucky during the holiday season, it comes with an air fryer.
How have I never heard of this person before?
Very
So
nice.
it may be the
Great
holiday.
Finger
day.
on the pulse.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Police
Got
in
our finger on
Kentucky
the pulse, huh?
confiscated an unusual gift being delivered to a Kentucky man's home. A package with about 20 pounds of meth that was shipped through the mail inside of an air fryer. Narcotics officers were able to intercept the parcel containing about $100,000 worth of drugs.
Whoa.
The Louisville
lot of
police
drugs.
said. The package was delivered to a suspect's home where officers obtained a search warrant to collect it. The major case unit confirmed to news outlets. The suspect wasn't at home at the time of the seizure, was not there to deliver. Like, you know what, just ship it on Thursday. I'll get home later. I'll leave the $100,000 of meth. Just leave it on the porch. You know what I mean?
I get to it.
My friends, she'll pick it up. Photos posted by the police department show at least 7 packages of drugs wrapped in plastic alongside the Hamilton Beach brand air fryer and the box it came in. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. They still have 3 more bags to go through. Just craziness.
But was it valid? Was it validated that he realized it was coming to him?
Oh, yeah. He was
Okay.
who they were after.
Oh, got it. All right. Just making sure that maybe he was shipped something inadvertently and
I mean,
didn't know.
clearly people use Amazon Smile for other things than I do.
That's true.
Let's see, from $100,000 of crack, like $3 goes to Aunt Rita.
Crack is
That
whack.
seems fair.
Yeah.
That feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels
Nice.
The giving
seems
tree.
generous.
Yes.
It does.
It's good stuff.
Well, my next story, I've decided, just because it's been a very long time since we've had one, I feel like this story will only get better if we do this.
Oh, no.
Are there handouts?
I love it.
And now we take you directly to Studio C Theater, where we reenact the best of crime scene footage, direct from crime scene footage. And now, our story for the day.
It's been a long time since crime
Yeah,
scene footage.
footage, yeah.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't remember how I did the voice. How did I do? Did I do it with my cheeks like this? How did I,
I don't
do
know.
it?
Due to a lack of witnesses, we'll never know.
Probably right.
I wasn't here for any of that.
Authorities in Tennessee say an irate woman pointed a gun at a fast food worker because they gave her ketchup instead of the requested jelly. Asia Vester, 20, was arrested Tuesday and charged with aggravated assault and unlawful possession of a weapon. Scroll up.
Scroll up.
News outlets are reporting. That was a sentence from earlier. Sorry. New sentence. According to Memphis police affidavit, Vester was in the drive-thru line of a local area McDonald's last week when she received her food and realized her request for jelly was either forgotten or unheeded. She insisted on receiving ketchup. Words were exchanged with several employees. Vester was accused of pulling a gun and pointing it at said employees, according to the affidavit. Surveillance video led police to Vester. Since Vester is under 21, it is illegal for her to possess a weapon. Vester is scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday. It is unclear whether she has an attorney to speak to her for her at press time. Thank you for listening to Studio C reenacts crime scene footage. Join us next time
I know.
for crime scene footage.
creates the
It looks
proper lift.
like maybe if you can't see him enough, it looks like he's spinning his
I
head.
honestly
Swirling.
cannot remember how I did that voice
But
before.
it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like
No,
this,
but I
was it?
enjoyed that tremendously.
I don't remember
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
did. I just do it
I
like
think you
that?
just did that, yeah.
Because I feel like this made it
was no
better.
facial
We were all
pulling.
alone in one of those rooms over there. We were not there to watch this.
There was
Yeah.
no
The cheeks
facial
happened.
pulling
The
that I
cheeks.
had any idea.
And now I think it would be more fun. I'm just talking like it.
Your
I
face
feel
is
like-
gonna freeze like
Yeah,
that.
he's
Yeah.
stuck like
I
that.
feel like more stories should have been done. Just reading the
just because.
story, a crime incident. If we didn't have the transcript
Yeah.
of the 911 call,
That
just the
is-
story.
I do love when
funny.
we do voices.
There we go. There we go. So that's.
I never do any voices, but I
That
love
was
it.
fantastic.
Oh, you've been
Thank you.
but you've been a player in a skit before.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I can speak redneck with the best of them.
So you're next, my dear.
I'm not doing it in a voice,
By God.
but I will tell you
Oh, do.
about my friend Yuri.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, it's a perfect time for
Sure.
an accent.
You know what? It would be, but it'd probably be awfully
But
offensive.
all right. Yeah, but
As a white woman in America, I will refrain.
because when did we care about
Right,
that?
when did that start?
When did that start?
Yuri
When did she
Is
get a
ready
fucking draw line?
to
Bullshit.
tie the knot.
Oh, Yuri.
Yeah.
He's getting married after 8 months of dating.
Yeah.
The Kazakhstan-based actor
Yeah.
and bodybuilder is telling the world he recently bought his girlfriend Margot cosmetic surgery and then proposed to her.
Put it back up. Put it back
Yeah.
up.
However, no, this isn't Mary Magdalene. No, no, no.
Mary?
This is Margot. There are more pictures if you go look for them. Margot
Gotta go look for pictures.
is a silicone sex doll.
Oh, my God. Oh,
And
That's
you're, Wait
right.
a minute.
Stand
May I
by.
just you're worried about
The
offending?
accents, right? Yep.
Okay,
No.
good.
wait.
Not
'Cause you
doing
don't know how to
accents.
do a blow up doll accent.
Nope.
Got it. That's fair. That's
Nope.
fair. I get it.
I'm a little worried about your childhood that you do know how to do a blow up doll
No,
accent.
no. I didn't know if that's why she was opposed.
Would you like
or
to
it was the
instruct me on how to
Kazakhstani-
do a blow
What
up
do you
doll
think a
accent?
blow up doll sounds like? Oh, God, Marty. It's not right. I
I
expected
bit
more.
her tit. She farted once and blew out the window. I don't know what happened.
Well,
I don't know. I was guessing.
Yeah.
this plastic bride to be
Judgment.
By the way, here's a picture of
is
Yuri.
living.
Oh, well,
Like
they're
a
a
lady.
cute couple, and that's a nice jacket.
Yeah, he's a
Yuri
handsome
maintains
fella.
an Instagram for her where he documents their escapades and evenings out. He even claims to have found Margot a waitressing position at a local bar.
Are they doing yoga? And
Wow, it's cold there.
Baby, it's cold outside. She needs to fatten up
Honey,
her
which
vagina.
way's
though.
north? Oh, I see it. Yeah,
they seem close.
good. Yeah.
Well, Yuri claims she has a disability. She can't walk by herself,
Does he get special parking?
and she needs help. He tells Central European News this with a straight face.
Jesus Christ.
She's
really?
Who needs
also-
help? Yeah, it's her.
She's
the one in
also-
crisis.
Not very helpful in the kitchen. He says Margot doesn't know how to cook.
well, she could. I mean,
But she
if she burned
does.
herself, she'd just go up.
She does, he claims, know how to eat. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh.
She loves.
Yeah.
She loves Georgian
Sausage.
cuisine.
Yeah.
Her favorite dish is dumplings.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
She also has an alleged sassy streak.
Oh,
That's right. She swears, but there's a tender soul inside.
is it
All the way in.
something?
Yep.
Is
Very-
she
it's
affected
very
by
airy.
inflation?
Yeah.
Can we,
well
can we
played.
see her again?
I like. She's pretty. I like
Yuri
that.
admits that the
pink
two
wig.
quarrel from time to time, but despite their fights, he says they've been inseparable
Oh,
since
quarrel.
first
I
meeting.
thought you said oral.
I
got
do.
it.
Quarrel.
They do oral
They do oral
sometimes.
All right then.
Why
real
wouldn't
good.
you?
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, they've been inseparable since first meeting at a bar where he claims to have rescued Margot
Wow.
from a young man with questionable intentions. Quite the gentleman.
You
You
rescued her
can't
from a
make this
claw
shit up.
machine.
Somebody
like
wrote this. Somebody sat down and wrote
This
this.
is not Pulitzer Prize winning.
Oh my god.
I don't
Reporting
give a
here.
damn.
It's isn't it
What
romantic?
the actual fuck?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
He saved her.
She's
Is there
a
more?
little light in the loafers, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yuri says that all the public attention recently has kind of gone to her head. She's begun to develop a bit of a complex.
Sure, sure, sure.
He says
Poor
when I
thing.
present her photo to the world, there was a lot of criticism, and she began to develop a complex. So we decided to have plastic surgery.
Plastic.
Thank
Get
you.
it?
Be
Yep.
here all
Good.
week.
Yep,
That's
yep.
good. Yeah.
Just didn't blow up.
He claims he took Margot to a clinic,
Uh huh.
inexplicably one staffed by actual plastic surgeons to make her even prettier.
Inexplicably.
Wow.
The surgery was, he claims, extensive. She has changed a lot, he says. At first it was hard to accept, but I got used to it later on. It was
How's
at a
her
real clinic
self-esteem?
with real doctors.
Absolutely. Yep.
The wedding date has not been publicly announced yet, and I'm
Sure.
awaiting my invitation eagerly.
I can't. As am I now.
What is his
Edge of my
Instagram?
seat.
What is it? Their Instagram name? Yuri
And
the Real
Aunt
Girl?
Margot is a doll. Absolutely. I'll blow up now.
She's a doll. You'll
She's
love
a
her.
She's a doll.
What a doll.
You're gonna love her.
Link.
She's
Copy
gonna be your
link.
best friend.
She's
a doll.
exhausting.
Stand by. It links to it. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna follow.
Really?
Well, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look at all the fun things they do together here.
They really do share a lot. They
I mean,
do.
their nipples are both quite erect in
Quite
that
erect.
photo.
It's
Yep.
chilly there.
Yeah.
In Kazakhstan.
Literally every breath you take.
Yeah.
every move you
Or,
make.
I mean, as soon as you take one,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Right,
Yeah.
I'll be there. Right there.
Yeah.
There it is. So now you know.
She died after getting her shots. Yeah. She is definitely
Jenny, that's good.
unvaccinated.
That's good. Yeah, she's an anti-vaxxer, Jenny.
She died after getting her shots. That's fucking funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is
Well-
that the end of that
Link
story?
sent. Yes.
Got link
Yeah.
set. Oh, she got a link.
We're going to follow her on Instagram.
Oh, for
I don't think I want to.
I think I'm going to.
I think you should.
Okay. Ryer.
So I want to give you the.
Wait, is that a bachelorette party? Shut the front door. Okay, carry on. I'm sorry.
Stop already.
Very excited.
Killing me. So.
Followed.
No. And she's still nipping out.
Well, sure.
Well, duh.
Kazakhstan. It's cold there.
It is. My bad. My bad. Nice veil. That's
my
what no
I
one
mean-
said to her. So let's go through because it's the whole 2019, right? Like at the end, toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
Lots of fun lists start coming up. Which part?
I love the end of year
The
list.
Bachelorette party.
See?
It's a problem. Go ahead and put that link in the chat room.
Wonderful.
I'm
I
done.
should in the
I'm
chat
done.
room.
Where she's standing in the blue dress with
Yeah,
the veil.
yeah.
I'll yeah.
I'm
hang
done.
on.
So there are the 10 best homophobic backfires of 2019.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh, fun.
I was excited about these. So being an LGBTQ, being
IALMLP.
LGBTQ, IFPTLSG, used to be so easy, but even Trump had troubles discriminating this year. This year end, we're raising some eggnog to our favorite flubs, ranked by some hilarious, that are hilariously satisfying. Number 10,
Hilarious.
Daddy Fairest. GOP lawmaker takes back homophobic bill after gay kids shamed him. Kansas GOP rep Ron Hyland was going to sponsor a bill proclaiming same-sex marriage parity marriages. He put his name on the Marriage and Constitution Restoration Act. Just one problem. His daughter, Crystal Hyland, is part of the LGBTQ community and took him to task publicly when he refused
That
to
she should.
engage with her on the offensive bill. She wrote him an open letter on Facebook. And basically says her name, who her father is, the co-sponsor of the legislation, and as a proud member of Kansas City's LGBTQ plus community, a mother, a partner to the Love My Life, an active artist active in my creative community, and a hardworking business person. I'm personally offended by the egregious nature of Kansas representatives' proposed legislation, most notably my father's. This is and so she sent this like just long letter to him, calling his ass out.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
I appreciate that very
Yeah.
much. Like, don't. His own kids are like, fuck you. Cluck off. Number 9, Chick-fil-A shuttered
Fuck those
because
people.
homophobia doesn't sell. Sometimes justice is so salty. The UK got its first Chick-fil-A this year, but the notoriously homophobic chicken chain lasted a week due to LGBTQ boycott before they shuttered up. Right?
Yeah.
Only lasted a week. Number 8, police. Or don't police me. Cop wins the $20 million after being told to rein in the gayness. I had done that story. Remember when
Yeah,
they're like,
I remember
"You're just
that.
too gay." Number 7 was T-Gall. Trump tries peddling pride T-shirts. You guys heard about that,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right?
yes.
Right?
He's at it again. He's got new
Yes,
ones out like
they're
just recently.
They're down here, MAGA ones. Trump, who had banned the troops, trans troops, In perhaps his least sensible business venture yet, which, I mean, that's saying
Wow,
a lot,
that's a
right?
whole other list.
Yeah, wow.
Trump offered up LGBTQ Americans the rare gift of a laugh this Pride season by selling rainbow Pride shirts. Of course, the shirts were grammatically incorrect and appeared to be designed in Microsoft Paint. Yeah, that's true. Because it was he's just a moron. Number 6, Cracker Barrel bans anti-gay pastor. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. If Cracker Barrel bans you for being anti-gay, you're in real trouble. The food chain, which instituted a policy of firing LGBTQ people in 1991, that only
I remember
lasted
that.
for a month, right?
I remember that.
Didn't add queer people to its non-discrimination policy until 2002 and has historically been accused of racism by telling an anti-gay pastor his views were too extreme. Grayson Fritz of the All Scripture Baptist Church was barred from holding an event at a Tennessee chain because he made death threats against gay people.
And maybe chicken fried steak.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Double trouble. After the Pride T-shirt debacle, we get MAGA rainbow shirts. This fucking moron. I'm even gonna go so far as to say fucktard.
Yeah,
because I'm done.
Yeah.
Because all right.
Because all right.
Because all right then, sir or ma'am.
Or man.
Because
Said
we
good
assumed
day,
the
sir.
first Trump Pride shirt was such a big hit, Trump rolled out a MAGA rainbow shirt that was more cringeworthy than his last. Number 4, flying pride. Trump bans pride flags at embassies. So naturally, everyone was putting up the pride flags.
People who had no intention of putting up the pride flag flew one
Flew
just
one.
to piss him off.
Just because President Donald J. Trump declared that no embassy shall bear the rainbow colors on the unholiest of month of June when LGBTQ people celebrate Pride. And the embassies were like, yeah, fuck you, we're going to fly that, and we're going to have rainbow cake, and fuck you to all of it.
And I
Just
can't
fuck you.
Who was it that had never done it before? Was it Australia? It was some country that they just never done it before, never paid attention. We're like, oh, we gotta go buy a flag.
Yeah.
We get a flag.
Where do we
put
get
a
one of these
rainbow
flags?
on.
Yeah,
people?
what are these flags?
Where do we get the
Everybody's
biggest one? Let's
And
just
it was
find-
Somebody put that up.
It was somewhere big, like Australia or something. That they were like, oh, we're gonna get one of them.
Number 3,
Will this annoy you? Can I do it fast?
Can I? How? Judges dump Trump's anti-trans healthcare policy or healthcare law. Trump tried so hard to roll back LGBTQ healthcare protections in 2019. In May, the Department of Health and Human Services proposed redefining the Affordable Care Act to gut anti-discrimination protections for trans people. The department was also poised to roll out conscience protections that would have let doctors turn away trans people and those with HIV and AIDS. 2 judges looked at the new rule and kicked it to the curb. The Trump administration is expected to appeal those rulings because nothing says asshole like that.
Yeah.
Number
And then
2,
you still have gay friends that are like, oh no, he's
Remember,
good for
it was
gays.
never
he's
about
good.
cakes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Absolutely. The wolf who cried ally. Homophobic judges sob about being called sobs about being called a homophobe. Lawrence Van Dyke, what an odd name, gave LGBTQ people a rare gift this fall when he blubbered at his own confirmation hearing to be a federal appeals court judge. The reason? The American Bar Association found him unqualified because he refused to say he would treat LGBTQ people fairly as a judge. The ABA conducted 60 interviews and found him to be, quote, lazy, arrogant, and an ideologue, unquote. Thank you, sir. And the last one, here comes Pride. The Texas commissioner who refused to sign a Pride proclamation but really became famous because of her hairdo. And
Oh my God, yeah.
I recall that.
look, we're not
honey,
here to
it
hair
just looks
shame.
like a brown football
That's
helmet.
right. That's right. Look, we're not here to hair shame, but this is about queer rights. Sorry. Just what? You're a cunt.
Yeah.
So-
And you got the hair to
And
match.
you got the hair to match. Shelby's right. It is a brown football
helmet.
helmet. Anyway, so those are the, as of this day, December 10, year of our, someone's Lord, 2019. Those are the top 10
Yeah, but there's still time.
There's still time.
There's still
Exactly.
time to fuck
Plenty
that
of
up.
time.
I have a feeling we're gonna have some more T-shirts rolled out, and who knows? Who knows? But those are the top 10 thus far, 2019.
There it is.
Homophobic backfires.
That was a journey. Thank you.
You're welcome. It took me back in time. I like that.
Al, did you find another one?
Nope.
Got it. I'm going to roll on with these these two that I've got last before we move on to entertainment. Tacos. Is there anything tacos can't do? They're just amazing. That marvel of a Mexican food has at least one true believer. Tucson man, Arizona resident, Ryan Bishop. He credits a taco as the reason that he narrowly avoided being struck by a bullet. Bishop was approaching the Pima County Fairgrounds entrance in his car early Sunday afternoon when suddenly the window on the driver's side shattered. This according to Tucson station KOLD-TV. Quote, I heard a very loud explosion happen in my window, Bishop told the station. He said that at first he thought a rock broke it, and he decided to pull over and inspect it. Bad idea. I opened the door, took a look around, and then I'll hear pop, 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 pop. And he said, so I got in my car and continued driving. He pulled over eventually and then called police, who soon arrived at the scene and discovered a bullet sitting on the dashboard of his car. That's when Bishop focused on the taco that he had been eating when the shots rang out. Bishop told KOLD-TV he normally drives his car with the window down and his arm on the window ledge, the same spot where the bullet hit his car. He says, I'm pretty sure eating a taco saved my life or at least stopped my arm from getting blown apart. I had the window closed because I didn't want pieces of my taco flying around. The Tucson Police Department is investigating the shooting as criminal damage and malicious mischief. Huffington Post reached out to Bishop, who did not immediately respond. So thank God for tacos. Now, our final story in our headline section, and this is, well, you've heard of, where the sun don't shine. That whole thing?
Yeah.
Actor Josh.
They're called buttholes.
Actor Josh.
Ask Mary Magdalene.
Hers is fat.
Actor Josh Brolin has a message for today's youth. Tanning your taint isn't a good idea.
Ain't good.
The actor learned that hard lesson a few days ago after he engaged in perineum sunning, a new trend in which people expose the area between the anus and your sex organs to the sun.
Your perineum.
The perineum.
That wasn't me.
Maggie's against it.
Or Mary's here. I'm not sure which one.
Maggie's against it.
This, according to the New York Post, one practitioner who calls herself Metaphysical Megan claims that perineum sunning can regulate hormones as well as sleep patterns. The man who plays Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe saw the Post story and decided to try it out.
Yeah. And stepson of Barbara Streisand.
That's true.
Oh.
It wasn't such a hot idea, he admitted on Instagram this past weekend, and he hopes others don't make the same mistake. He says, quote, try this perineum sunning that I've been hearing about, and my suggestion is, quote, do not do it as long as I did. Says, quote, my pucker hole is crazy burned, and I was going to spend the day shopping with my family, and instead I'm icing and using aloe and burn creams because of the severity of pain.
Why does he think they call it where the sun don't shine?
That's right.
Continuing the quote,
Because the sun don't shine there.
This is someone who's never had a sunburn. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is somebody who tans easily and then exposed his taint to the angry sun god.
continuing his quote on Instagram, I don't know who the fuck thought of this stupid shit, but fuck you nonetheless. Seriously, though, New York-based dermatologist Jerry Fenton isn't surprised Brolin feels a little burned by the experience. Quote, this area is vulnerable for two reasons, Fenton told Yahoo. Number one, it's in an area that has not received much sun exposure in most people, thus it would be lacking in the body's normal response to sun exposure that protects it from future sunburns, such as producing pigment. Number two, it is sensitive skin to begin with, so any burn in that area may be more significant and more uncomfortable. Fenton warns, the end of this is what getting me. Fenton warns people who insist on baring their buns to the sun could increase their chance of getting a sunburn, yada, yada, yada. There is some evidence to suggest that the genitals may be more susceptible to skin cancer than other areas of the body, Fenton said. A skin cancer developing in this area may be more difficult to detect because people don't regularly view this area of themselves. So get a partner.
Yeah,
That's-
no.
Have him inspect.
No.
I thought that line, well, yes, nobody normally sees that area. How, I mean, they got a mirror and some time. I don't know what,
There you go.
what are you doing
Make
there?
it easy.
I don't know. That's anything. Anyway, here we go. Let's see what happens with this, Mr. Perkins.
It's just all movies and East Siders, and all the award shows are in full swing and super early. So we've already had the Golden Globe nominations, but the SAG Awards are in the morning. I have a movie to not recommend and a movie to recommend and things to say, and we can play a little Death Den, although I think we did
We
it.
have a lot of Death Den, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah. So, there we go. And a couple of interesting movies coming out, too.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes right here on Q Talk America.
David, what does burning smell like?
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Maggie, not now.
I have a cat digging her claws into my leg right now. Hi, everybody. It's the show. It's a Tuesday night at home with me, Clayton McKee, and the cast of the show. It's Kat Carlson, Marty Ryer, Al Perkins, and Maggie. She's sitting here on the floor looking at me like...
She's very busy.
And I fed them purposely right before the show so they wouldn't bother me.
You always do.
But they always come in here. Anyway, well, if you're just joining us, where the hell have you been? Of course, if you're just hearing this, you may be hearing it on repeat on our 24/7 channel that just plays this ad nauseum to irritate you night and day.
You're welcome.
From wherever you are. I even listened to a little bit of us while I was in Mexico. I did find out that on Wi-Fi down there, I could not get MSNBC, but if I used my AT&T data plan, boom, right there, I was able to keep up. Able to keep up.
Well, there
Thank
you go.
God you didn't have to do without Matt out while
Thank
on
God,
vacation.
yes. And now, here's Al Perkins
Some
in entertainment.
things just have to come with you.
Right.
Well, all the Critics' Choice Awards are coming out. The LA Film Critics, the New York Film Critics, the Golden Globes, and the Irishman. The Irishman seems to be everywhere. Parasite is everywhere. 1917 is everywhere.
Parasite's playing in more theaters right now too, because I just saw it at up at Scottsdale 101.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking about hiding away from the people and going to see a movie, and I went, "Oh, Parasite's playing here. That's very nice."
And the LA Film Critics just made it Best Picture and not Best Foreign Picture. It wasn't even
They
the
went
runner-up
full
for
on,
foreign
like,
film. They
this
just said
is the one.
This is the one.
Winner.
And so far, my
Winner,
favorite
winner.
of the year. After seeing quite a few things, it's still the one that had me the most entertained. The Golden Globes are kind of getting a little bit of a backlash because movies with female leads, female writers, female directors, none of them nominated. You got a movie about two guys doing something, you'll get all the nominations. But yeah, except for like Frozen is like the only movie with a female lead, and that's in cartoons.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
just like But they're running into a lot of trouble, according to my good friends on Gold Derby, because this abbreviated awards season means preview trailers haven't gone out. So like a lot of people haven't seen. Well, Cats, I guess they're still trying to work on it, make it watchable. But like Bombshell
Well, they
hasn't
better hurry
been
up because
screened
it's
by
coming
a lot.
out.
Yeah, and so my favorite. I mean, it is kind of rough. Like some of their choices in the Golden Globes, that they couldn't, like, none of those movies, the women Helmers, like,
Yeah.
nothing, no one.
No.
Writing, directing, like all kinds of shutouts. The women were like co-writers, so they're getting a little bit of trouble. The TV side they did much better, but TV is kind of the golden age for women right now, and much better roles in TV for women. So that kind of goes without saying that you're going to have better
And
representation.
No nominations for network television. Right?
None. Completely shut out of the Golden
Zero.
Globes for the first time. There is not one
Wow.
network television
Not
show
a one.
nominated in any
Some
category.
cable TV show or cable.
Yeah,
your
basic-
HBO,
yeah.
your whatever. Your
But even
USA.
your basic
Your
cable,
bacon.
your bacon.
Good to know.
Your basic
doesn't
cable
love
got some
bacon?
nominations. So that was kind of interesting. And there's stuff you don't have to really work that hard to see a lot of the stuff, because like The Irishman and Marriage Story are both on Netflix already.
Yep. I
Um,
watched The Irishman. I love a mob movie.
Yes, and I feel like
Love
this
a
is
mob movie.
the last mob movie we ever need. I feel like we closed out the mob. We saw them into their graves. We walked him to his crypt and dropped him off there.
There's never enough mob movies. Let
Oh,
me tell you, I could spend all of my time just going from Godfather to Goodfellas to Casino to now The Irishman's right on it
Yeah.
up in there.
I've never
You could
seen
do the Untouchables, like just put them all in there.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm in, and I'm just happy all day long.
And I mean, and honestly, the Irishman is visually stunning
Wonderful.
in every aspect.
Wonderful.
The cars that are always shiny and new, which is starting to bother me about period pieces. Somebody can have a dirty car.
Right.
Right.
Everyone didn't spend all their time killing people and then immediately going to a car wash. Like,
Well,
Or
that
didn't
evidence
they-
had to be washed away.
yeah, there is a strong argument for that.
Although there was like that car culture of washing your car every Sunday in the driveway, though.
Yes,
like,
there
those
was.
those clean cars
That
are a
didn't exist
little
a lot
believable.
back east in the snow. Your car was
All right,
covered
you're
in
fair.
snow.
True
Covered
that.
in snow.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
I'll give you your warm weather people there.
All right.
But I mean, just a small complaint. But the magicianship, the witchery, whatever you want to call that the CGI,
aging thing?
the aging
Yeah, yeah.
thing. There's really no reason to not cast Glenn Close in any movie now, because now she can easily
She
play
can be all
20.
the people,
She can be
right.
all the different people. Although it's a fortune. That movie cost $175 million.
It's a fortune to do, and the
Which one?
downside to that is they can facially, visually make these actors look younger,
It
but
was
they still
insane.
walk like
Which-
80-year-old men.
Right.
True.
Like, and that was very apparent. De Niro, it was very apparent when he was supposed to be very, very young, and he's like walking back and forth around his damn truck,
Yeah.
and he looked like he was just shuffling along in his slippers.
There's one part where
Oh, the Irishman. You're still talking.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're still on the
It costs
Irishman.
That much?
yes.
Well, the
And
technology
Paramount-
and it's nuts.
Yeah, Paramount dropped it and said, we're not making this money back. So they dropped it, and Netflix picked it up. And now Netflix had this whole fight with movie theaters because they want 90 days. Like, you can be a Netflix production, but we have to be able to show you in the movies exclusively before it goes to TV.
Okay.
Because we got to, they have to agree to so much time. They go to festivals,
Right.
and the theater owners will bid on movies and be like, we can give you 4 weeks premium seats for this. That's how they open in like 4,000 theaters. Or they're like, no, we're not, AMC's not picking up that movie. So that's why you go to the Harkins, because
Okay.
they're the ones that picked it up. If it becomes a hit, then maybe we'll negotiate because something bombed. Dr. Sleep bombed. We have some screens available. Maybe we can expand your movie a little bit. It's a dance.
Okay.
But if you can watch it at home, you're not going to keep big screens open for a glorious 35 millimeter Scorsese movie, which is, you would think with a couple nominations, people would flock to the theater. No one would take a chance. It was too much money.
It's also too long. Like, I
Oh.
am super glad that I watched it at home because let me
Right.
say, I took quite a few breaks
And
there.
that's
was
what
like,
I
we're gonna
said.
pause you for a half
It
hour.
probably took me 5 hours to watch it. Plus, I was looking it up for historical accuracy because I was at home, not in the theater.
Right.
So I'm like, hold on a minute. Who is this guy and what's this story?
And be able to look it up. And
I love how there's like
Yeah.
no kind of eulogy for any of these people. Like, this guy shot in his driveway, 1982. Pfft,
Yeah.
Goodbye.
That's all you need to know about him.
I love
He's
it.
gonna make it to about 1982. So like it was like 3 period movies, very well done. The 50s, beautifully captured. The 60s, the Kennedys, fascinating details of the mob's war with the Kennedys,
Right.
and how that started. The 70s recreations I thought were gorgeous. And then, but that's 3 different movies. That's 3 different period pieces, plus a
Right.
mob movie, plus
And like 20 minutes of it on Anna Paquin not saying anything.
right. Oh, and we wasted an Oscar-winning, Academy Award-winning actress who had no fucking lines.
Not a lot. She
She
said
played
2
the
things.
daughter. She played the daughter.
She played the, but he doesn't need daughters. There's no women in this movie. Like they're, I mean, they're
no,
just,
somebody just told me that.
Yeah.
But they didn't say it was Anna Paquin. That's why I was like, okay.
yeah, a complete
Doesn't
waste
say anything.
of an
Not
a
Oscar-winning
word.
actress to have her give him one dirty look and then him say, "And I never saw her again." I could have saved you like 15 minutes in editing right there. And then from his last job, through
But
the
I loved it. I loved her looks like the entire time. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, here she is again. Hi.
She's a great actress.
She's looking great.
But give her something
given the
to
looks.
do.
Sure.
But we get two separate confessions with the priest where he doesn't confess anything. Okay, it's the second goddamn priest.
Right.
I'm like 3.5 hours into this motherfucker. Confess. He never confesses.
Never does.
But we saw him go to confession twice in like the Lord's Prayer. And then like, oh, let's pray in our own words. We're still praying. Who edited this motherfucker? Oh my God, that movie, by the end of it, and then they sneak it in. You know how some things just go right to the next show without you knowing? They go to the, let's talk about the Irishman
I
after
didn't
in a
watch
bar.
that part.
I didn't realize it had started. Because I had looked, I wanted to see some of the names of the music titles.
Oh, so you watched all
Because-
the way through the.
So
through the
now they're
credits, sure.
talking about. You're like, wait a minute. What are they talking about?
No, and it goes, and that ending. And I was like, how did that movie end?
You're like that
And
movie
then I went
ended?
back and I had to watch the last 5 minutes again. I'm like, it never fucking ended.
Just fade it out.
Just faded out. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
There's no like wrap it all up. There's no bow at the end. It
No, it's
No sunset.
Fade to black.
Nothing.
and
fade
you
to
have,
black.
I mean, Joe Pesci, a career performance. I mean, honest to
yeah.
God, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino have never been, but I have never
because
liked
they've
Al
both
Pacino
been
more.
rehearsing for these roles in movie after
For
movie after
That's what I
movie.
said. It's the last gangster
They've been
movie we need.
typecast
Because
their
we
whole
killed
lives
them.
for this movie.
Yep. Everybody's played Hoffa now. We can put, and he died, and now somebody confessed to it. Whether you believe it or not,
Yeah.
somebody confessed to it. We done with the Hoffa.
Right.
But oh my God, that last, because I was like, okay, Hoffa's dead, and there is still 45 minutes
Right.
left. And what are we
What
gonna
the
do
fuck
for
are we gonna do the
45
rest of
minutes?
the time?
The whole point of this movie is we killed Hoffa.
They killed
He's
him.
dead. Because I thought, oh my God, what are they gonna do? Sit in the room and talk about killing each other, like that fucking movie Heat that they were in together that I hated.
Oh my God.
If
With
you two don't get out of
Val
this goddamn
Kilmer, right.
restaurant and stop talking to each other, I have seen movies about Japanese origami that were
forgot
more
about
exciting.
that
I
one.
hate that fucking
Japanese
movie.
origami.
I'll still watch it. I don't care.
Oh, I can't imagine. I was seriously wanted to hurt the person
I'm
I was
doing
with.
it tomorrow. I'm watching it.
So that was The Irishman, and I never don't like Scorsese. I just most of the time don't ever need to see his movies again.
Right.
Like Raging Bull, I get it. And he's a great filmmaker, like gorgeous.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
mean,
Right.
every single minute of this felt like it was like hand painted, the craftsmanship, his love of movies. But I'm like, oh, I cannot imagine what would be going wrong in my life that I would spend 3.5 hours watching that again. Like,
Yeah.
it got
And they're lengthy. They're all kind of lengthy.
yeah, but not like this one. Because The Wolf of Wall Street's the one. I mean, that stays entertaining. That movie never. You're just at full throttle
right.
excitement. Everybody's like doing crazy shit and having fun.
Right.
The Departed. That's a tight 2 hours 15
Oh, The
minutes.
Departed is great.
fantastic.
So good.
And then you get left with these other movies.
Forgot
that
about
you're like,
that one, too.
Oh my god.
So many
And I
good
love
movies.
Hugo, the 3D one, the silent movie, the one that's a silent movie. Gorgeous. And I've watched that one about 15 times because it's gorgeous. But this one, I don't know. In the theaters now, just Knives Out.
I hear great things.
They pretend it's got a female lead because the maid is female. But
Oh,
this is Craig. This
female
is
maid, that's
this is not Craig Ferguson.
Typecasting.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Craig James Bond.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'm not gonna know.
Me neither. So James Bond is the detective, like his version of Hercule Poirot, and so much goddamn fun. Everybody just has little scenes. Jamie Lee Curtis has a little bit to do. Chris Pine has a little, not Chris Pine, the other one.
Hemsworth.
Captain America, whatever one that one is.
Hemsworth. I don't know.
Yeah, whichever Chris that one is.
It's not Pine.
No,
Is it a
it's not.
jackal? Is it a jackal?
Jackal.
Is it a jackal?
It's not Hemsworth. It's the other one. It's-
Yeah, there's another Chris.
Um,
Anyways, but it's Jamie Lee Curtis is terrific.
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yep.
Yep, Captain
Or Pratt.
America.
Yep.
Don Johnson, back from the
What?
dead, looks terrific.
Holy shit.
He's so much fun in that movie. But it's a good time. So that's one of those ones that anytime it's on cable, you're just gonna sit down and just watch that little roller coaster. And it's a fun whodunit, just that old kind of 70s grown-up movie
It
where
looked like it was kind of like Clue.
yeah, and it's just the teensiest, tiniest bit campy.
Okay.
But they're all just having up, and you can tell that making it, they were just having the time of their lives.
Nice.
Oh my God! So Jenny's ruining Frozen 2. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh.
But somebody dies. So that was Knives Out. Then the French movie, the horror movie I've been looking for ages, Knife and Heart, super sexy, takes place during a 70s porno movie where Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend, whatever her name might be, is a director of gay porn.
You're talking about the no, that's his wife.
Yeah, Vanessa Paradis, whatever her name is. She's the star of this. Knife and
Okay.
Heart, super sexy, super fun. It's the Eyes of Laura Mars from the 70s with Faye Dunaway and Tommy Lee Jones with a theme song by Barbra Streisand. But now it's done with gay butt sex and all in French. And it was super sexy and super fun. Like, I really enjoyed the shit out of
That's okay,
it.
Jenny. That's okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'll forget that. Dr. Sleep at the movie theaters, fantastic.
Okay.
Probably the best Stephen King adaptation I have ever seen.
Great.
I do not understand why
Interesting.
everybody is not on why this movie flopped. It
Okay.
was tight and good, and it did some tweaking of the book to make it believable. But they got that entire book into one movie.
Okay.
All your information is there, no cheating. They made it as the director talked to him, Stephen King, into allowing him to make a sequel to the movie that he hates and not the sequel to the book. So the couple changes to get it back to the movie from the book. Terrific. There was applause in the movie theater. I mean, it was really
Oh
like
wow, that's rare
Yeah.
anymore.
Last Christmas, the Christmas movie about with all the George Michael songs. Totes adorable. We'll be watching it every Christmas. The music's fun. That Henry Golding is just the sexiest motherfucker alive. And what's her name? The
Amelia
Clark
from the
yeah.
Mother of Dragons.
Lathe Mother of
the-
Dragons. She's a charmer. Like, there's
Yeah.
no getting around
Sure.
it. That is a charming actress with some kind of message about letting people across the border disguised as Yugoslavians in the 90s. It's got some race thing where they can all play a different race.
Didn't see that
Because it's
coming.
another race of white people. Yeah, didn't see it coming either. but
Didn't
it was,
see that coming at all.
Yeah, it was,
Is that still in theaters, by the
yes.
way?
Yeah,
Because I do want to see it, even though I can't imagine it's not the the movie of your lifetime, I'm sure. But
Oh, no, but
But it's going to run through Christmas for sure.
But I have to see it because obviously the
I mean,
topic.
and the George Michael selections are just darling, and they open up with one of my favorites, "Heal the Pain," which I've always loved. So it was very nice. They went for the deep cuts. It's not all the
all
the stuff
right.
you know.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Midway war movie. If you ever had any questions about anything from 1938 to 1944, we got it covered in Midway. No one's gonna accuse those people of not doing their backdrop. It was like Les Miserables, but this time it's in the Pacific.
It's about the Midway,
That's
right?
a lot of fucking exposition, right?
Yeah.
Which the Battle of Midway, which interestingly enough, John Ford, the famous director, went there to film because he was told they might see some action because he was making the pro-war propaganda films to get the people to support the war and keep working
Right.
hard and sacrificing. So John Ford was one of the directors that actually went to the fronts, the
wow.
war front, and filmed, and he was actually on Midway during the Battle of Midway. And actually,
Sure.
that's why if you see the 70s version, there's actual footage from the war,
Oh,
from the
That's
actual
cool.
battle, because John Ford and they were telling him, like, you got to take cover. Like, we thought you'd see something in the distance. We didn't know we were
you're
going to
gonna
be
be there,
We're gonna
attacked.
be
front
in the
lines.
midst.
And he stayed his ground, and he and the cameraman like stayed there and got their shots. And so they include that, but they get you the whole like espionage history and the failures of Pearl Harbor that lead to the change of the commands and like how they got the ships out there and the ship, how they. So there's a lot of information, but it's pretty cool if you're into like war movies and like Battleship, literally Battleship, playing
Right.
Battleship,
And-
where to position your battleship, what we had left to fight the
And
war with,
this
which
is
was nothing.
Not a lot.
Factual.
Yeah, because they bombed the
Yeah.
whole
Because that's
Pacific
my
Fleet.
bigger thing. I don't mind all the exposition. I like the story, but my concern is this real or is this just
Oh, this was so mired down with facts that
Okay.
you're like, just make a documentary. I mean, there was no point except for to have a couple of cute boys play the gunners, but
Midway,
and there's
got it.
stuff that you're like, could that be true? And the one guy, they really did. They captured this guy. They asked him stuff. They don't know how long they held him, but later on, they knew he was missing. They found his life raft, so they knew they survived. They were convinced they were prisoners of war. And one of the soldiers that was on the boat that found them said, "Oh yeah, we just attached an anchor to him and threw him overboard. We just didn't have time.
Wow.
Like he didn't answer any questions, so they're dead."
Oh,
Like, yep. And
Well,
So long, sucker.
But I mean, there's a really powerful piece where our last ship is being attacked by a kamikaze pilot, and this guy, and it's a true story, got on a plane on the deck and shot down the kamikaze pilot and blew up the plane so it didn't hit the deck and saved our last
oh wow.
battleship, the aircraft carrier that we had. So I mean, really interesting. So if you're into all that, I mean, all the facts are there, and it's all supported by books that were written, and the last piece of how do I say that? The last piece of like not espionage, but intelligence that we had,
Right.
Okay.
that how they figured out that Midway was where that battle was going to be, was this guy didn't write a book until like the late 80s, and it's his book and his like reading of the tea leaves. Like he would get nervous when he didn't know where the Japanese fleet was, so he felt that if he had yelled louder, we may have not had the same outcome in Pearl Harbor. So when it came
Right.
time to like, okay, what do you think's going to happen next? Some people were like, no, that's not how traditional war works. And he's like, this isn't a
isn't
traditional
traditional
war.
war.
Like, this is what's happening. And so it was very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. So the Golden Globes came out, and Cats, which anything that's a musical, and there's only one musical this year, and it's called Cats. And those motherfuckers, those 79 people that are the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, are just cocksuckers and bottom feeders.
Okay.
God bless you all. You seem to be lovely people.
Those of you that are listening.
Happy holidays. Happy
But
holidays.
you can
yes.
buy them off and get yourself a nomination, no matter how crappy your movie is. Like Pia Zadora got a most promising newcomer for a shitty movie because her husband bought it, and
Okay.
that movie, The Tourist, got nominated just because they wanted Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp to sit in the front row.
Right.
of
Right.
the
I
theater.
remember you saying that
yeah,
before.
I mean,
right.
Cats is so bad they couldn't even They couldn't even find something to pretend nominate it for.
Wow.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And like I said, from what I just
I have a date.
recently
Daniel
heard,
Ray and I
I
are
have
going to go
to,
see
I
it.
have to
It's on
tell
my
you,
calendar.
Aaron asked me, like, are we going to see this?
it's becoming like I'm going to go see it to see how bad it really is.
Because it really,
It looks awful.
I just want to see it because of Fat Amy.
I forgot Fat Amy
Rebel
was in it.
Wilson.
Yeah,
All I know
mean,
is
and
that
I love calling her Fat Amy only because like Rebel Wilson is hysterical and like on such a different level, but the Fat Amy part just seems like it's this cat,
yeah, that's who they would hire.
right?
Oh,
And
that
it-
chick
it
that's
was-
Fat
it
Amy.
was
She'd make a great
perfect.
cat.
It just seems perfect for her in that, but yeah.
So what I've heard, like the only people that have seen even part of the movie is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Like they sat them down, showed them the movie, and they walked out and were like, "Oh." There's like 8 Oscar winners in there, and like I know we should invite them, but I can't. So I guess
can't.
Taylor Swift got nominated for a best song, and I'm not sure, so I will Google it in a second. But I think, unless there's another Dan Levy in the world, that Dan Levy wrote a song that was nominated from a movie called Where's My Body? From an animated movie about a severed hand looking for a body or something. But I have to investigate that part of it because it stayed on.
Isn't that
it
called
has
The Evil
stayed on
Dead?
my exactly stayed on my radar. And then the Critics' Choice Award nominations came out, and Schitt's Creek, and a surprise for everyone, got 5 nominations: Best Show, Actor and Actress for Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, and then Supporting Actress for Dan Levy and Supporting Actress for Annie Bitter. I think that's her name. Who plays? What's his sister's name?
Oh,
Alexis.
Alexis.
Is it Annie Murphy?
Annie Murphy.
Yeah.
I was really close. Betty Bitter. Annie Murphy. Same thing. So
Potato.
So they have been super excited that the Critics' Choice Awards nominated
Yeah.
all of them. Then I felt bad for Stevie because
Emily Hampshire is fantastic. Just
because I was worried about I couldn't remember which one was which when I saw the name. So I thought, oh, maybe they saw the Cabaret episode and she got the nomination. But then if you watch that, I mean, if you watch
Alexis really is
selling
yes,
that because
solid.
she's such a terrible dancer that what she's doing in Vilkeman is just fantastic.
so good.
And it's like the third time you watch it, they're like, hold on, I got to see that part. Like, just what what did she just do? I saw Brittany Runs a Marathon. That's on
Okay,
Amazon
yeah.
Prime.
Oh, I watched that
Yep.
recently too.
So good.
Okay.
So funny and
True.
a true story.
Yep.
True-ish as
Yep.
everything else.
Yep.
True-ish.
That actress is the one that I was very smitten with.
Yes.
Yeah, or I am very smitten with.
And
yeah.
and in a very very serious role.
Right.
Well, a lot of levity, like the her relationship with the neighbor and the gay friend are just funny, especially the neighbor who she hates, her best friend that she absolutely hates, and then her roommate who she should hate but she doesn't learn that till later. Like,
Yeah.
I was just delighted by that, and then I watched.
Tobey Maguire was a producer of that. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, what did I see yesterday?
I don't know. I wasn't with you.
Yeah.
We weren't with you.
I snuck out of the house to see something.
Is there a receipt
Well, I thought
perhaps
yesterday-
you can
Someone
bring
you're
up?
I thought
Sneaking
yesterday
out?
is when I saw your post about the Irishman. Was that?
That was at home at night though.
Oh, okay.
Because luckily you don't have to sit through. Because my God, you'd have to like walk around the theater. It's so long. That movie is. I rarely say that about something, but I've sat through Gone with the Wind and more like that shit. Let me just see what I saw yesterday because it was said it was a true story, but
I
it
thought
wasn't a
the
true
Titanic
story.
was a
Ford and
fucking long
Ferrari?
movie, but
Yeah, and
Oh no, but Ford versus Ferrari looks really good.
I think
Yeah,
that
it
looks
does.
good too. In fact, I think my mom might enjoy that because she used to race cars when she was a young girl or a teenager back home. The boys that are
That's
drive
fun.
their cars.
that's fantastic.
Oh, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh,
Because Tom
yes.
Hanks got I had not seen it, and Tom Hanks got nominated in supporting in like all these
Okay.
different award shows, and I was like, well, what the fuck is this movie about if
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers is
Is
supporting?
supporting.
But it's based on a Esquire
reporter.
Reporter, yeah.
piece, and so as he's putting together, he's supposed to write a 400-page essay about this because no one likes him. He's kind of an ass. He's one of those people that just always seems to find the negative side to everything.
right.
And he meets Mr. Rogers and questions him. So it's about him and his
Like,
relationship
this
with
is
his,
really a facade, so tell me who you really are.
yeah, and is after him, and instead, and the funny, and I was talking to Barbara and Buddy, and usually when the white guy can't figure out his problems, they usually cast Morgan Freeman or any
Sure,
other
sure,
advanced aged African American to play
Magic
the
black man.
magic black
Yeah,
person to solve the white
No, it's
person's problems.
it's a movie trope. It really
Yes,
is.
okay.
so
And that's what they call it, Magic Black Man.
in this case, the magic black man is being played by Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers. And there's one point where it turns into a parody of itself that you're just waiting for. What's the movie Bagger Vance, where Matt Damon plays golf and has a magic black man?
Oh yeah, Will Smith is his Magic Black Man.
Yeah, that's the magic
Yeah.
black man. I mean, there's the magic black man thing just goes too far. And there's one point where wherever he says, and like, I swear to God, I just heard that in Morgan Freeman's voice. Like, I know Tom Hanks
Sure.
was going for Mr. Rogers, but he landed on Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman as Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. It just won't. It went somewhere so
Where do you
bizarre.
want to go today, dummy?
But I mean, it's an okay movie. It's a wait for cable movie, but Tom Hanks in another
Yeah.
genius performance.
Yeah.
I mean, he gives, because it's almost, and when you watch the documentary too, it's almost not believable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
okay, settle down.
But how many?
Well, they're related.
yeah, they're like
Did you
eighth
see
cousins
that?
or
Right,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cousins. Yeah.
Tom Hanks did like 23andMe, and they're like fourth
how
cousin,
funny,
second time
really?
removed from Fred
Wait a minute,
Rogers.
I
Yeah.
gotta start looking
Yeah,
at
see where
this
you are to
again.
Fred
Right,
Rogers.
right.
How far you are.
Yeah.
So
Can we just plug in names? See
but
if we're
like
related
as
to
he
people?
like there's one point where he's doing a song that it really kind of breaks you, and then there's a part where the reporter is watching him do a puppet show, and decides to like not watch the puppet but stand behind and watch Fred Rogers perform as the puppet and get across this really touching message about hurt feelings.
Okay.
And like you just see the genuineness in Tom Hanks' portrayal of like he really was trying to communicate
Sure.
with children. Like he really was trying to tell someone how to deal with hurt feelings. And as you know, he's kind of keeps hearing the message from the magic black man.
Yep.
And it was very good. There was a couple times where I was like,
Yeah.
It was interesting. While I was
I love that
while I
show
was in
growing up.
Vallarta, and I was
Absolutely.
after I mentioned earlier that when Shelley Morrison passed, I got into this thing where I watched Will and Grace on YouTube for 6 hours of everything and a bunch of stuff
Like you
I'd
do.
never seen. But I then got into a thing where I watched a couple interviews with Tom Hanks about the
Are you
movie.
Gato now?
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Gato. It
So
means
sorry.
cat in
Gato,
Spanish, yes.
Okay.
I watched a couple interviews with Tom Hanks, and he said, he goes, I'm not going to show you where. He goes, but I know in the movie the scenes that were first day of shooting because I talk too fast. He's like, it took me a while to get there.
Right.
To get it right, and he was talking about the magic it was to work with all the people who literally were like, their set was lit by the same lights that Rogers used. Some of the set pieces were literally the same set in the same TV station. Like all of the cameras they used were the same cameras in some cases for some of the shots.
And the puppets were meticulously remade.
Yeah, so very interesting. It was
And that Matthew Rhys who plays the
Yeah.
the reporter.
He was in the TV show Brothers and Sisters.
Yeah.
And again, I loved that.
Was he the gay?
He was the gay one.
Yeah, the gay one. And he's really
I-
Welsh or something.
Yeah.
Like
He's Welsh.
His natural accent is so sexy.
And you would
it is,
never
but
guess
you'd
it.
never
No,
guess it.
he's got a mean American accent.
And the
that
fact,
works.
like when he just switches it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, 'cause
And
he's the
it's
Americans, isn't he?
really strong. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's married to Carrie Russell.
And he, oh, did they start dating at the end? Yeah.
And but it just his accent when they were on Kelly Clarkson, which is my.
Is that your new
I don't-
go-to?
That's your new jam.
Everyone's guilty pleasure.
I'm telling you, it is
She's
my
delightful.
absolute guilty pleasure. And from day one, I'm like, I don't even know what to do about that.
Until
right
the
now.
Ellen horror stories come out.
What do you mean?
You know how Ellen's supposed to be a horrible person.
Right.
So I mean,
I
for
believe
now,
every one of those.
it's the
by the
it's
way.
it's the feel good lesbian
I
show
know,
of the
right?
of the
But
of the era.
The only thing with Ellen that I can't get past is the fact that if Michelle Obama is that close, like with her, or
Oh, because
like,
she's
will
not
go
working
on.
for her.
No, I know, but it's just it's like
Right.
if she's a cunt, I want
But
to.
Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
on the pecking order there, Michelle
right,
Obama is way above Ellen,
Yeah.
so that would be a very nice relationship.
Sure,
It's the people
sure.
beneath.
Below. Good,
Right.
good point. But that Kelly Clarkson, anyway, she had the whole cast on, and all of the people in the audience had the red sweaters, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah,
and,
and-
the gal who plays it's Susan Kalecki, if I'm saying that right, Watson, who plays Matthew Rhys's wife in the movie. When Mr. Rogers knows my name.
Oh.
You know, like she was so excited about the whole thing. She's on This Is Us.
Yeah, she's in the part that makes me cry in This Is Us.
I know.
And now I was like, you know what? You're the Taylor Swift of this relationship because everything I watch with you in it that
Yeah.
makes me cry because I stopped watching This Is Us because that's just
It is.
It's emotion porn,
it's
It
emotion
is-
porn.
yeah.
It really is.
Emotion. porn.
It really is.
Sure, yeah. If
It
listen,
is.
if you need to cry, go watch some This Is
And
And
Us.
if you and if you
'Cause
don't
it's gonna
cry,
help you.
and if you don't cry,
There's something
there's
genetic.
something you're
Very wrong with
Yeah,
you.
there's something really,
Right.
truly wrong with you.
You're a
In this one, there's
sociopath
there's a
is what you
little
are.
tiny scene at the end of I don't even know what it's called. Is it called Welcome to My Neighborhood or Won't You Be My Neighbor or
Sure.
Fuck You, My Name's
a beautiful
Fred?
day in the neighborhood.
Jesus Christ. That escalated really
Change
quickly.
your fucking shoes.
It's on PBS for God's
Don't wear
sake.
your goddamn shoes in my house. That was the message I took away.
Take off your
Right.
jacket, you piece of shit.
How many jackets you got, mister? Anyways.
Some
So
for outside, some for
it's-
inside.
So at the end of the movie, there's a really quiet scene where nothing happens. They're just sitting there kind of being with each other, and they there's maybe like 2 lines of dialogue.
Is Anna
And-
Paquin in it?
No,
Okay.
because she'd have less to say. No, the women in this movie actually do something. So Fred Rogers stands up and he takes a picture and he's like, "Oh, Joanna would really love to see this," and I was just bawling that there he is. He's watching like this story play out with this family, and he takes a picture just so his wife knows what he was up to today and the wonderful people that he got to spend the day with. And it was so, and like Tom Hanks is capable of now, is capable of, I don't want to sound like he is, and that he can just have those small moments and just a little twinkle at the camera to let you know, like, oh, it was so good. He's just so on his game.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the Academy snubs him again because he's like 0 for 4 for.
But you win for being with Wilson.
But then he loses Captain Phillips, which
Exactly.
just a
Right.
brilliant movie.
Nobody understands.
Right.
And literally no one. And then when he was Disney and saving Mr. Banks, I was like
Yeah.
crying like a little girl.
Yeah.
Or
I
boy.
recall that.
They're allowed to cry too.
Either way.
However you self-identify. You cry baby.
However you feel about it, you little bitch.
Wow. Wow.
That escalated
Fuck
quickly
you,
as
my
well.
name is Fred.
Wow, Fred.
You're welcome.
In today's episode, we called Mr. Rogers a little bitch.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
Just had to get that off my
Don't
chest.
want you to be my neighbor,
That's right.
bitch.
Can't imagine why more people don't
Put
listen
your
to this
fucking
thing.
house up for sale.
All right.
I gotta say
Are we
about
going?
that.
Let's go through the dead people.
Oh wait, so we have three.
Well,
we have three suggestions from Anant on the Netflix. And Anant, your Netflix may be different than ours, as I've learned. Something called Bikram, The Movies That Made Us, and number 3, Explained.
And I think I might be wrong.
Oh,
but I think
Explained.
It's Bikram.
Bikram.
Bikram,
Yep.
right.
Wait, is it explained or is
And
it
that means
broke?
hold
Is it
on.
explained or broken? Which is the one that tells like actual stories of manufacturing and how things get done? Is it explained? There's one story that somebody was like they lost their mind over finding out some place that they'd been buying stuff forever. I guess it was IKEA wipes out entire rainforest to make all that shitty furniture, or something. And I
But
was
it's
like,
so convenient.
instructions are simple to use.
I've built a lot of IKEA in my life. I don't know.
Haven't we all?
All right, so I'm gonna take a
Because
screenshot.
that's what I thought. There's Bikram yoga.
Yeah, I've seen,
That's the
I've seen
hot
it.
yoga.
That I've seen,
preview for that.
But
All right,
Netflix,
I got a screenshot of that, Anant. So I'll get back to you. I'll do some.
documentary. The Bikram is a documentary.
Okay.
Okay.
It examines the dramatic rise and fall of hot yoga founder Bikram. I'm not going to pronounce that last name.
Okay.
Many details of podcast miniseries 30 for 30. I'm not familiar with 30 for 30.
I don't either.
Yeah, but I can't.
I don't know shit about this guy.
No, me either.
No, that's the guy that made the documentary, right? Did 30 for 30?
Oh, the filmmaker is the podcast guy.
Maybe it's a filmmaker Eva Orner is the producer and director. And it says Orner, covers many of the details addressed in the podcast miniseries 30 for 30.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, Eva Orner. Eva Orner. Kind of a
So
mouthful.
what were you gonna bring up?
No, Death Den and some passings that we were gonna.
Oh well, we talked about.
So I was gonna show pictures for those of you watching who may not know what we're talking about. So where are you gonna start?
Well, you'd start with Big Bird, but I don't know if
Yeah,
we said
so,
enough.
Carol Spinney, the creator of Big Bird. That just in case you weren't sure who the man under the feathers was, that's Carol Spinney. So all the years of seeing Big Bird was that gentleman who
And
passed.
talk about being able to like you said, to have the
Yin and the yang between
with-
him and Oscar the Grouch.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a documentary that I have yet to see that I want to see called I Am Big Bird, which is the
Yes,
story of
yeah.
him, which for some reason I can't find it.
Oh, I thought.
I have that recorded at home.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
It was on HBO.
And I
believe.
wanted to, I was going to watch it on something and they wanted a rental. I'm like, one of the platforms I already pay for somehow
Right.
is going to have it for free. And then we already talked about Renee, I can't pronounce his last name, people who knew him from Benson, he looked like this. And then there are the fans
Fucking funny.
who knew him from Star Trek, who he then looked like this. So they would remember him from the two different looks. And then the cast of Alice lost a member, the young gentleman right there who played Tommy Hyatt, who was Alice's son, actor
Philip McKeon.
Philip McKeon, Nancy
Nancy's
McKeon's brother. So,
Yep.
so
Joe
Facts of
Polnicek,
Life,
right,
Joe
right.
Polnicek from Facts of Life, her brother.
And to tie into Minnesota because he has a Fran Tarkenton jersey on right there from
Oh, I
Minnesota
had
Vikings.
no
Just
idea
throwing
about
out there.
that.
Yep.
And they were always, and he stayed with purple because they were always wearing he was always wearing the Suns jersey.
That's right. That's
Oh,
true. That's
well,
true.
of course, because they were
Yep.
supposed to be here from Phoenix. And then, again, for those of you who knew from back when and current, actress Shelley Morrison, who was known in The Flying Nun with Sally Field, who we
That's
talked
right.
about earlier in the show. That is actress Shelley Morrison. And if you don't recognize her from that, you probably will recognize her as Rosario, Karen's foil from Will and
And
Grace.
then
Now,
members
was that,
only.
had she
Jackie.
been
Listen,
sick
lady.
for a while?
She retired from acting after they stopped the first time.
Yes.
She had just retired from acting. I think she had been ill for quite a while. She had
Okay.
suffered for some different things, I believe, and then then it became wheelchair bound, as I
Okay,
understood.
because that's why they were when Will and Grace was coming back, and she was like, no,
Right.
They had in there that
And
she,
then-
no. I thought
And then I watched,
they
things
haven't
that,
announced it yet, Jenny.
things that make you. I don't
It said
recall.
a long
It did
illness,
say a
that's
long
all it
illness. I don't
said,
recall
yeah.
what it said he died of. But the thing, speaking of things that make you cry. Again, while I was down there and they announced that Shelley Morrison had passed, and I immediately went to YouTube and started looking for the best of Rosario, the best of Karen and Rosario, and got into that entire black
At
hole of
the
stuff.
funeral,
Right. So
when she talks.
then I watched an interview of the creators of Will and Grace, McChichin, whatever, I can't remember their names. Anyway,
Muchnick and
right. So watched an interview about them writing that and how they put all that together and the way that Megan Mullally approached that and did it. Come to find out that a staff writer I believe it was a staff writer who worked on the show had been killed or died I believe was killed in a car wreck like a year or so earlier. And I guess Megan was very close to this person on staff. So she played the entire scene, obviously to nothing in a casket.
Sure.
I mean, she pulls a Windex bottle out at one
Yeah,
point. and
yeah,
wipes,
yeah.
But she played the entire scene like she was saying goodbye to that. Knowing, I mean, Shelley wasn't dead, obviously, at that point.
Yeah.
So she played the entire scene. And again, you watch her saying goodbye to Rosario and you just cry.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, I mean, I immediately went to Megan Mullally's Twitter the minute that I found out she
55.
died. She, you know, still she'll always be my Rosie. Like the whole thing was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it still just almost gets you. But
agree.
what
And she
a-
was another one who was only supposed to be on for 1 or 2
right,
episodes.
one episode, and she
Right.
played so well, they just
Well,
kept
the
going.
two of them, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
And
one
I
of
had-
the funniest.
I had
pairing.
never
The first time
seen-
they started screaming at each other, because it wasn't what you were expecting.
Not
Right.
at
That somebody
all.
talked back to her, and then because it's mostly gibberish, but when you hear the 1 or 2 words that
Right.
they're actually
Yeah.
saying to each other,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen the episode where Jack puts the glasses on and channels Rosario in Grace's office. I'd never seen it. And then they go at it talking. Priceless. Just
Yeah.
fucking funny stuff.
Very funny.
Very, very
I
funny
agree.
stuff. I just had missed some of that. So now I feel like I should go back and rewatch. Because I dropped out of Will and Grace before they ended the first time. I dropped out probably the last 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
Didn't really fall. I just kind of lost interest in it.
Oh, they
So-
stayed funny.
So I-
They stayed
They
funny.
had problems.
I
but it-
probably need to go back and watch a few of them, but I really got tired of the arc with Grace and all of the when she got married and all the.
right.
I got
Right, the whole
tired
Leo
of all
thing,
of
I was
that.
like,
I got really tired of that.
They did a lot of infighting that I'm like, why? But it's kind of
Right.
like, oh, so I forgot one show that ended, and I was very sad. And Explained is kind of what you're talking about. There's a couple different ones. Explained is kind of like Vice, where it goes in depth on like diamonds, beauty.
Okay, then it's
future
Explained.
of heat, the next pandemic.
I haven't watched it, but I
pirates,
feel like that's one I would enjoy the shit
what
out of.
cryptocurrency is, like the rise of that. And there's a couple of them. There's Sex Explained, The Mind Explained, and just Explained, which is the new season.
It's like what's his name ruins. It's what's his name ruins everything, but
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah,
Everything Explained.
That show's
Wasn't it
clever.
Adam somebody?
Adam ruins everything.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
yes, Adam ruins everything.
So
That's
on
good.
the
May I?
What-
Just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Mr. McKee.
What, ma'am?
As of yesterday, right now, I Am Big Bird is on Amazon,
Oh, I have him.
and it says for either rent or purchase.
Yeah, because it's not on Prime, so it's
Oh.
probably like
So it
$1.99
cost you
or
$5,
$3.99.
right.
Yeah.
Right, but and I
Well, maybe
think-
tonight I'll just
I thought
go
it
watch
was on
it.
Netflix as well.
Well, I will have to go look because
But
I know it.
doesn't
I
look
know
like-
it had been on one of them.
Because it says right now, I Am Big Bird is not free on Netflix, but you can watch it on either Amazon.
I'll look for it
watch
again.
on Amazon either for rent or purchase. But I thought it was still on Netflix. So
I'll figure it
yeah.
somewhere. I just want to see.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Go ahead. Al, what got
th-
canceled?
So the show that I had been following for years and thought was ended, I had said my goodbye. No, it's not on there. Is on Netflix. It's called Eastsiders, and I accidentally found it thinking I was watching the British show that's been on for like 25 years, and it ended up being like this little web series about these 2 gay guys that have been together for a couple years, and the one is cheating, and they decide to get back together instead of breaking up. And then it turned into, they did a GoFundMe, and they went from those 2 episodes to making one full first season, and then it was so appreciated that Netflix picked it up and did
And now there's 4 seasons.
like season 3. Well, I thought that the end of season 3 was the end of the show, and then lo and behold, 2 years
Turns
later,
out no.
they're like new episodes of East Sider starting.
I love those notifications.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Just comes
And now
through
I'm like,
all
oh
of a
my god,
sudden.
I've got so much to watch.
Yeah.
It was so well done, and you diagnose the guys in the first season of like, these are just drunks. But then they realize they're drunks in like season 2, and then they spend the whole 4th season like, okay, we can't just keep doing this because we're drunk. Like, we need to fix this.
Right.
But there is a really, really sweet, and then the people that normally in any show, you would have this interaction with this character, and then they would just go off and you'd never see them again. It was just something that happened. This show explores like all the 5 people from the original 2 episodes and stays with them.
Oh, cool.
So even though they're not really connected in any way anymore until the very end, you follow their lives. And there's a bar promoter or owner, I never could figure out what he did at the bar, who falls in love with the drag queen. And the drag queen is hysterical, but not being drag. It's trying to do like a Instagram story, but also be a real person in this relationship, and like when to turn it on and turn it off, and when to be funny, and like just the most lovely relationship between these two, trying to find out like who they are in a world of like always being on, like how to be themselves in places where like he's always supposed to be the funny drag queen and this other one's supposed to be this promoter that's always getting stuff done, and how their relationship ends up being the main relationship of the show. Like they sneakily switch over from the guy that writes and directs it to the drag queen and the club promoter, and their whole story of getting married and like meeting his conservative mom, and like when he's going to be a boy and when he's going to be the drag queen, and like trying to get everything paid for by Instagram. It just turns into this charming and they're the couple you just keep rooting for.
Right.
Like I just want those 2 to work because they're really doing it, but it was good. So it finally ended, and I hope this time they ended it because they all danced. Everybody got a dance scene at the end in the closing credits. So I'm assuming, is it over now?
Dancing means over. I don't know.
But it was
I don't
perfect.
know.
Like the first 2 episodes are only 15 minutes long. There's only 4
Love that.
There's
Cute.
like 6 per season. So I think there's a total of maybe 25 episodes, and you can watch the whole show in like 5 hours.
All right.
But it's really charming that, 7.5 years later, they finally got to the end.
Right on.
And at one point, the guy's like, well, I haven't seen you in a long time. He's like, well, we disappeared for a year.
Like you do. Like you do.
But they handle foster care with gays. And, I mean, it takes on a lot of, like, little time. And they just give you a little taste. Like, there's only one
little
episode on that, but you get, like...
Can't solve the whole thing.
No, but it's charming. Called East Siders. Enjoy it.
I just added it to my list. You're welcome. Did that.
I mean, there's a part where you're like, just go
I
to
love
AA.
that Anant watched the guy restoring an old radio, Clayton.
Do what I'm saying?
YouTube videos. He's been watching restoration videos on YouTube.
Oh.
An old radio. He was watching someone restore your house.
Your childhood home where you
There
grew up.
are a lot of videos out there of a lot of interesting things to watch. I think it's fascinating, and you learn stuff.
Yeah.
So Joe says, here's a version of that one question going around social media. What is something you can say during sex that can also say on the show? Just do it live.
See you next Tuesday.
Are you through? Are you through yet?
I don't want to.
See you next Tuesday.
This part's gone on long enough.
That's enough.
Or even better. Well, I guess we're back to Kat.
Wow, thanks.
Segue out of that.
David.
What does burning smell like?
It's not okay.
I feel like I got a ring of fire situation going
Just
on.
fold it in.
Just fold it in. Fold it in.
Oh no, it's not sad. Anime, I'm not interested at all.
Is it in?
That's true.
That's funny.
Is one of us on?
Do you hear that?
That's
I'm going to go with this one. What the fuck was that noise?
Said earlier in this show.
Nobody ever talks about that during sex, the weird noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You brought nuts. Oh, I think you just discovered
No,
nuts,
I
Marty.
just saw it on the other
It
side.
sounded
Wow.
bad. Well,
Yeah.
that's another thing you can say during
Wow.
the
Gave
show.
that up
It's
for
like,
lunch a long
just
time ago.
I hope
discovered
you don't
nuts.
discover them.
Hope
you knew they were there.
Would you check my sunburn?
Yeah.
Oh, there's your nuts. Thank you. Oh my God. James Brolin and I have something in common. Oh
Is
my
that taint sunburn?
What an interesting shade of taint.
Can I rub aloe right there?
Oh, I wish you would.
You were not supposed to answer that.
Just gonna eat my nuts and sit over
Yeah,
here.
eat my nuts and go home.
I'm taking my nuts and I'm going
Yeah.
home.
Oh yeah. And yeah, there's squirrels in the attic.
That's true.
You got a bat in the cave and
That's
a squirrel in the
funny,
attic.
This time it's personal.
Yeah. Why does it hurt? Because this time it's personal.
So there are a few things, Joe.
There are a couple things. Yeah.
Probably the whole show.
You can, wait, we can. I forgot about this. We can also go. We go. Whoa, wait, hang on. This one.
Pants. Right here? Shit my pants, you're kidding.
One of the funniest fucking things.
So, what is the question going around the social media? Something you can say during sex. You can also say like at work or.
Fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something that would be the same thing in
That's
two
funny.
different situations, but mean totally different
At
things.
work on the Titanic.
Yeah.
No,
Are we going
job,
down?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Two different things. Sex and
Right.
the Titanic.
I think that's bleeding.
That's wet. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true though.
Are we
Don't-
taking on
Don't
water?
slide on that. Yeah.
Right. Is
You're
she
go-
in?
You're gonna need to change your shoes.
Awkward.
That dripped
Awkward.
for about 7 years now. Yeah.
Is it though? Nan, what the hell is going on?
Wait a minute. Where's
Fuck is wrong with white people?
where? Oh yeah, but you've. I forgot about old. I forgot about Aretha.
Well played. I do appreciate that. Annette.
I
That's
haven't heard that in a
funny.
while.
Oh, Aretha.
That's from
That
Broadway
was
musical.
Funny.
So good.
Yeah, that never gets old.
Or depending on if your shift is done, you could also do this one.
Looks like it's back to the perfume counter.
That 20's not gonna get me all the way home.
Or I just realized that a lot of these would be the same thing. We could also do this little ditty.
Same song.
$20 is $20. Yeah.
We did it. We did it before.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Or if you if you're really bored with the whole sexual thing, you could just do this one.
And now, the rest of the story.
That's good.
Why do you have a tail?
Wait, what?
And now the rest of
The story.
I just remember
good
being
stuff.
in the grocery store, just kind of trying to mind my own business while Aretha Franklin screamed, "I dreamed a dream" at me. And then,
She does scream it too.
oh my
Boy,
god,
howdy.
and just standing there by myself at like 7:15 in the morning when what in the hell is going on? I'm like, literally, what in the hell is going on with this song?
Nobody knows.
Wait a minute.
Or
Hit the deck.
or as David has said before, this one too.
Very impressed. Was not,
Not embarrassed at all. Yeah,
Thought I would be.
I have definitely said that during sex.
Nice dismount. Like really, I'm gonna give you a bronze. I'm sorry.
Okay, there's a recent story that goes along with that that I am not gonna tell.
My God. All right.
I feel like we've done great work here.
So we really have, and we've
Fat
filled the
baby
we
at
filled the
table tried to get up.
Absolutely.
what? What was that?
Trying a very advanced sexual position at my age, and I ended up like fat baby trying to like roll over or sit up or get somewhere.
Not
You
sure that
are
we
a man
needed
of a certain
visuals.
age.
I don't even know what to play for that.
I'm just gonna tell you, it was horrible
Back
for
to the
everybody.
perfume counter,
Yeah,
Well, I really,
and I mean the one that, like the cheapo one at Walgreens perfume counter.
I would be like,
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
That's what my body was saying.
Then it's-
That is not what we know.
Not the plan. Not
You're
the
like
plan.
30 years late to that maneuver, buddy.
That's fantastic.
or that is the sound of forgiveness.
Oh my God.
Silence, screaming, and then silence.
And another one of those moments of like, none of us are going to talk about that noise.
That is.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I just love that.
That's good.
You are just terrible today.
Shh. Do you hear that? That's the sound of forgiveness.
That's the sound of people drowning, Carl.
That is what forgiveness sounds like. Screaming and then silence.
Well,
Oh, God damn.
what
Okay,
is I
do we
kill
have,
children and I eat hands. There's two things.
Right.
then you had sex with the captain. Well, thank God the children weren't there to see it. I will not apologize for art.
God's tears. All his guesses of what's on the bottom of the lifeboat. God's
Strawberry
tears.
milkshake.
Strawberry.
God's tears.
Tears.
Something nectar. No, Carl. All right, it's the old couple in 2B. They were taking all the muffins. Or whatever it was.
Oh my God! See, I was screaming the official language of Australia. I did try that out once on somebody over there. They didn't get it.
God.
I bet.
Kat, were there any topics we needed to beat up before we got done with this, or what?
I don't know if we need to talk about any of these. Here's what I wrote down. Here's what I wrote down. Impeachment, question mark.
No, I think we're done.
Baby Yoda.
Yoda.
I love him.
No, but we did that already.
Yeah, we
Did we do that?
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Because I
I
showed
still love
pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, I love him more now. Like every week, just a little more. I was
Because we
against
decided
it.
he was a clone because it's not a thing, it's a species, or it's not a person, it's a...
Yeah, it's not supposed to be Yoda. I think I don't remember if that was.
It's like a
Joe
Yoda
or-
predecessor.
Yeah, the timeline
No, the
doesn't
timeline
work.
is after. It's
Yeah.
after
Oh,
Yoda dies.
fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot, so I
Yep.
got exhausted.
Right.
Okay.
Clayton lost interest.
Yeah,
Yep.
completely.
I wrote down the Amazon bookstore because the company that killed bookstores has now opened a
Opened one.
bookstore
Yeah.
Oh!
near my
At
house.
it's right across the street
It's in Scottsdale.
So what is old is new
Candytopia.
again?
Candytopia.
Correct.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I know.
Carolyn Cummins.
Like an adult.
Next
book
thing you know,
fair.
they're going to open a brick and mortar store and start actually selling products out of it. You go get it
Probably.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
They're going to
Well-
call it Target.
As it turns out, at the Amazon bookstore,
Yeah.
you can save on the shipping charge that they now charge you to like return items.
Yeah.
I can just
Drop
walk it
it
right
off.
in and drop it off, and they scan the thing, and they scan a thing on my phone,
Bloop,
and they say
bloop.
bloop bloop,
Yeah.
and my phone goes off and says, "Hey, we got your return. Here's your money back."
Well, thank God a multi-billion-dollar
Right.
company isn't losing
When-
$1.25.
Right. Let's
for
not
that.
pay for shipping. Well, listen, because sometimes you buy a $20 thing and then you go,
Yeah.
"Oh no, never mind."
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, it's going to be $13.95 to return that."
return
it. Oh.
Then you
Uh-huh.
go, "Well, fuck, I guess I'm keeping it."
Sure.
And then 6 months later, it ends up in the pile that goes to Goodwill.
So the $13.95 is scratched if you drop it off at
Right.
the bookstore now.
Because fuck UPS, we don't want to pay those people.
Oh, I got you. I see how we're doing this.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
then you drop it off at the bookstore,
Sure.
and they just crate it all up all at once, and they ship it back to the warehouse.
Oh, I see.
So I have one thing. if
Yeah.
possible.
Tell me. All right, tell me.
The ET commercial. Have you
I
guys
have not seen it. I have
Oh.
not seen it.
That's another one. That's just
It
emotional porn, too.
It is emotional porn.
I have not
and
seen that
it is it's fucking adorable. So we'll have to play that.
Okay, I'll have to get that. And I can't play videos right now. Maybe next
No,
week I'll be able to do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because we only have, for those of you programming know, we have one more show this month because Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both fall on Tuesday. So we have one more show, which is next week. The other one I watched, and again, it's one of those things that you get baited on in a Facebook run. The one, it's I believe it's a Polish commercial where the old guy buys beginner's English lessons in a box, and he starts he labels everything in his apartment, book, screen, cat, mouse, dog, and the dog with a sticky note on his head is really cute. And the guy goes through the whole thing, and he watches movies, and he's learning English. And the whole thing is the older guy, and he gets all dressed up in his hat and his little his suitcase and he gets on a plane and he flies away and he's continually speaking in English to himself and saying things and people are looking at him. And he pulls up in front of a house and he gets out of a cab and he goes to the door and embraces the man and his wife, and he leans down and he looks at the baby and he goes, "Hello, I'm your grandfather," in English. You're like, oh my God.
Oh, it's
very cute.
Forget it.
They gotcha.
Very cute.
Forget it.
Very cute.
But
it's so funny. He's watching a movie and he's sitting in this bathtub in the commercial looking at everybody going, "I'm going to fucking kill you." and the dog is looking at her like, "What are you doing?" It's a cute commercial.
Cute.
And let me tell you what you'd all get addicted to.
What?
For those that
dieting?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Clearly, I'm not addicted to that in
don't
any
be-
way.
If only we could, right?
I'm hiding this under a large green tent.
Hello.
Zip Fizz, healthy energy drink
Oh,
mix.
we have a whole bunch
Well,
of
wait,
those.
you said. Oh,
What?
now we're going to healthy
Oh my
drinks.
God, Zip Fizz is back.
Hydration with
Yeah.
B12
Yep.
41,000 times. No exaggeration. 41,000 times your daily
We've
requirement
been on the
of
Zip
B12.
Fins bandwagon for like 2 years.
It's been around for longer
So
than
what
that.
good
'cause
has
that
it
came
done?
around
No,
while
I'm
I was
saying
in
we've
cash.
been on
Like
the-
Zip Fizz
yeah.
has been.
Let me
Yeah.
just tell you, when you are tired and can't
Yeah.
quite get through it,
Yeah.
Do you poop out at parties?
this motherfucker, which comes in grape,
Oh.
it is Vegemite.
Great.
Oh, because see,
cherry,
so what about the
tropical
Pedialyte
punch.
for? I thought that had all
This
that same
is
shit.
even better.
It's
But
like
now,
crack.
not only now you're awake.
Yeah.
Because now give you all you're like
Give you that B12 injection. Right?
hangover cured and
Zip
They
vitamin.
Fizz.
sell it at Costco.
Never heard of it.
I didn't either till like a week ago, and somebody
Oh.
because I was dragging ass
Yeah.
last weekend.
Yeah.
or the
So you're
weekend
not on it
before.
now.
No.
Nope.
I was doing math in my head. I was so excited. I know how many of you are here.
Yeah.
I just got through a night of like not like jittery like I do from like Red Bulls. This
Yeah.
has some kind of like natural 100 milligrams
No.
of natural caffeine. I don't know what the fuck that means. But that vitamin B12 and it just kind of like comes at you
Yeah.
and you stop being tired and you get into like super productive and you get a nice like I made it through a
It's
12-hour
meth.
shift.
Yeah.
Without the side
But
effects of
B12
meth.
and now I was telling the
Doesn't
children
eat away at your brain as much.
no, not at all. But I mean,
You keep your
drink
teeth?
some water. It's gonna kick your kidneys a little bit.
Oh, good.
I don't think it's bad for your kidneys. Though. I think because B12 you just pee out.
Right, B12 is water soluble. I
Water
believe.
soluble. So
And,
you just pee it out.
All right.
yeah.
And you're
Whatever.
clearly the night that I took it, I did need every drop of it because like my pee was still clear, and I'm like, this is disappointing.
Oh.
But remember back in
You
the
were
90s?
hoping for different shades.
Well, yeah, because usually when you take B12 or large amounts, you have the bright yellow pee. So
Right.
I
Right.
was like at 40,000 times, like
You
this
would
shit
think
should be visible through a
neon.
door. Yeah, this should be better than an X-ray.
Uranium
And I peed
piss.
clear, and I'm like, oh god, I must be very deficient in some of these things. But it really did work, and now I've had it like 3 times, and you just saved it for the night that I'm like, okay, I did not sleep well. I'm just gonna bring this to work, and then you put it in water, and I just keep refilling the cup with water. It's delicious. The one that they have a fruit punch, they have a berry, grape, not a lot of sugar in it.
Never
It's all
heard of
that
it.
goddamn B12, and it's $18.62 with overnight shipping on the Amazon because everybody was like, it's at Costco. I'm like, then it's on fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
So
that's
I went
true.
home,
Yep.
typed it in here, hit next day shipping, and the next day there was a case of it on my front porch.
Oh
and
my gosh.
We
the
had
beauty.
we
When
we
you
had
maybe
lead very
fisting
boring
someone? What
lives,
was it?
and so we went to.
It's called adulting.
We went hashtag.
And 50.
We went to Costco and we were sitting there and we'll just sit down at the furniture and just fucking watch people. When there are too many people, we just plant our asses and just fucking laugh at people.
Yeah,
and
get a drink.
Wait and right. And we were sitting down across from Zip Fizz, the people selling this stuff, and we're like,
the sampler people.
my aching fat ass. I'm gonna get up and get that for $25, whatever, $99.
So from your
There's
phone, you order
no
it.
way. No, we were just sitting there and we're watching, and all of a sudden, Aaron's like, "Well, I mean, I wonder what it tastes like."
Oh.
Product selection. I mean, really great. And so we both got up and then we tried it. We're like, "Well, that's really good." Shit, we got sucked in. We're mocking people, but you know, and it really is. It's good. It's good. So.
I think I just put the link in the room to the magic. But I gotta tell you, like, made it through work and not buzzy and crazy, just okay.
Well,
I
all
got
right.
through it, and for a little while, you might be able to hear grass grow. I mean,
Wow.
there is
Just
a
a
few
little
minutes where you feel like, am I close from the sun? But is my taint on fire?
There's yellow right here. Why
Yeah,
is that?
But it's not a straight up and down. It's a very like prolonged
That's funny.
peak. But I was like, this is delightful and healthy. Like we went through the ingredients and the stuff that's the natural caffeine is not taurine, which makes me batshit. So
Yeah, I don't remember.
I got a case of it on my kitchen counter next to the coffee.
Yep.
I'm like, I will double fist. Don't dare me. I'll
Don't
drink my
dare-
strong
don't
coffee.
Don't push me.
And 41,000 times the amount of vitamin B one human needs.
That's right. Don't
Wow.
push me.
Yeah,
Because remember in the 90s when, the people that didn't do drugs, you'd go and you'd get the doctor would give you the vitamin B shot for like a party weekend.
yeah.
And you'd get your little little boost of energy to feel just a little bit better for a couple
the
days.
softball drunks always swore by their B12. They'd hand around bottles of this shit all the time, and then they tried to get me to put the zip.
Drunks.
Well, you know the kind.
Hey, shut up. I was
You
wrong.
know the kind. See?
See? It's like, look, it's
Shut
like
up, I was
looking in
wrong.
a mirror, yeah.
Damn it. Shut up.
You know the kind.
I've met one or
I
two.
could name names, and
Yeah.
you know a lot of them.
Yeah.
Marnie.
Lesbians.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
Got my name right.
Angry or not.
No, I wasn't going to use the
In
word.
both
Yeah,
forms.
no. Yeah.
Angry and non.
And non.
Heavy duty and light.
Angry and irritated.
That's right.
Country
Both
and western. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was a time when they were trying to get me to put the Zip Fizz in their vodka. It's like,
wow.
oh, this can't be good, guys.
I mean,
This can't be
I'm not there
good.
yet, but I could
But
see
why
that.
couldn't they just bring their own in?
Well, sure, but then I would have to put it in their vodka. Well, they wanted me to do it for them. I'm sure they could put. Right.
Yeah, because
They could put
Mitch
their
that I
own
drink
zip in
with,
there.
he carry like a 10-year-old. He carries around Crystal
meal.
Light,
Right.
so he drinks vodka soda, and then he has his little squirt bottle of
Water.
Crystal Light, and I'm like, oh my god, or
Right.
vodka water.
Right.
And then he stirs it up, and he has his little raspberry, what have you. But I'm like,
Raspberry. What have you.
Yeah.
but now I'm thinking might be delicious, but
might
I'll
be
probably be
alright.
dead too.
Is this a powder? Is it a liquid? What do you got?
It's a powder.
It's a powder.
And because I was fighting off, it is the good grape flavor, Concord. I was fighting off a cold, like 2 weekends ago.
Okay.
Everyone was fighting a cold.
Yeah,
2
fighting
weekends
off
ago.
cold. So I mean,
Everyone.
I bought all of the vitamin C, the airborne.
Yeah.
I bought all of that I could find.
It's like
And
a
then
plague in the bar. We
the
couldn't find
zinc-
anybody to work.
Yeah. So the one day I had taken the that thing. What'd you guys call it?
Airborne. Zip
Airborne.
Fizz.
I took an airborne. I had the Nicam
Yeah.
up the nose
zinc
with the
things.
zinc. The zinc up the
It's
nose.
different than Narcan.
Yeah.
Very different.
Just throwing it out there for our listeners.
What's that one
Right.
called?
One's for cold.
Zinc
One's
cam.
for Debbie Lovato.
It's called like zinc. It's called like Zincam or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And you shove this swab full of zinc, and then I did the vitamin B. No cold by the morning. Let me tell you.
Good for you.
Look at
Nice.
you.
Oh my God, yeah. We like faked our way to good health.
Nice. That's good.
Whew, I'm exhausted from
I
this
am
show already. I think we're good to,
A lot of
to
things
I
happen.
like it.
see if we can
Oh, and
gracefully
then
exit.
jazz music.
I think we can gracefully exit this little deal.
Well, I don't know about
I
gracefully,
can even
but
baby out of the
Gracefully.
chair.
Fat baby.
Gracefully.
My God. Well,
more than
I'll
I
do my
needed.
best to see if I can do another crime scene footage story for next
love
week
crime
because
scene
it
stories.
was fun and my cheeks feel better.
Yeah.
Remember, we do have one more show this month. It's next week, and then we're all for 2 because of the holidays. Whatever it is you wish for, don't wish for,
because ain't
do
nobody
or
coming
don't.
here Christmas
Yeah,
Eve or
we
New
ain't.
Year's Eve.
I mean, I'll be here because
Yeah.
I live here. That's a very different thing. But
And they kind of
otherwise-
link up this year because Hanukkah's like the 23rd or something like that.
Oh, is it?
22nd.
Happy Chewbacca to all of those. Well, as we wrap up,
Shahanawiya.
yeah, as we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.